Now, I assume we all saw the photos of a very young Lionel Messi bathing a newborn, 6 months old, Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Jules, this is weird,
It's a bit weird.
but also really cool.
Yeah, really sweet. I mean, Messi,
The backstory?
really young, obviously 17 years ago or something now, for a charity calendar, like calendar year, like, you know, those calendar with every month of the
charity
year.
calendar where like they got kids in the academy with like immigrant family. Or,
It's not very clear either. But
well, I'm just thinking of the absolute coincidence.
yeah.
Of
Because people
all,
thought the photo was not legit, maybe. There was a bit of a, like, is this really, or is this Photoshop? Is it really
it's not a
Lamine?
Photoshop. They traced down the original guy.
Yeah, the photographer. I think ESPN spoke to the photographer.
The kid's a baby, right? It could be any freaking baby. They all look the same. But there's another picture where you have Lamine's mom and his dad. And yeah, those guys, it's not like they kind of photoshopped them later with young
I just
Messi.
love it. And I mean, the dad must have waited a long time before releasing the photo, because he posted it on social media. You wait, and then there's the right moment to do it. And you know, I love Lamine Yamal so much.
I would be so disappointed if this turned out to be some sort of weirdo AI deepfake. So it can't be. It's a weird. I'm just fascinated by the absolute coincidence of all the kids, because contrary to popular belief, yes, Lamine Yamal is good and precocious, but I think we can safely say at 6 months old, he was not playing in
Nobody
La
knew
Masia.
that he was going to have this
Exactly.
life, that's for sure.
So
That's
out
for
of all
sure.
the kids in the world, out of all the kids in the Barcelona Academy,
it was not in the academy either, yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying Messi.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that those two got paired up.
But Messi wasn't either in the academy 16 years ago. He was already 21 years old, so he was playing for the first team. Yeah.
Out of all the
But
people
still,
in the first team that
for
they
sure.
could have had, he's not
Can you
Samuel
imagine
Eto'o,
now?
like,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
this guy's African like you. Hey, look.
Yeah.
What's
that's
none of
really
that?
true. Yeah, that's really true.
pretty-
It's amazing. Marcelo Bielsa, Gavi, had a lot to say about football belonging to the poor and how it's a dying sport and how it needs to be protected. I cannot wait for your answer.
Okay, so I have the maximum admiration for Marcelo Bielsa
Me
and the
too.
work he does as a coach. It's special. It's different. Sometimes not easy to work with, but that's fun because many of the best coaches and leaders aren't always the easiest to work with. What I don't like is when you go into the screed, which he did on this occasion, where you put out all these concepts, which on its own, on their own, you know, you can say, okay, and on their own, they could all make sense, but it's all disjointed. It doesn't make sense. So it goes on this thing where he talks about how football belongs to the poor, and football belongs to the poor because football comes from the poor.
Yeah.
You know, and the poor have no way of being happy because the rich can buy happiness. Especially happiness isn't something you buy. Right? I mean, when you actually parse his words and not consider the fact that, Bielsa's saying them, they must be so wise. Also because he says them while looking down in a low voice and stuff, and he speaks slowly. His point is rich people can buy happiness. Poor people can't buy happiness. So football is the only way to happiness because it's free, or it was free. But now football's no longer fun. Football keeps getting worse. There are fewer and fewer players worth watching. And then he mentions Endrick moving to Europe, and he talks about the 92 Sao Paulo team, which had all these future Brazilian internationals. If you want to just limit it and just focus on the point you're saying that South America can't retain their talents, then that's true. That is a dynamic in football. South America, it's just South America, Africa as well. You know, at a young age, they get souped up, whatever, right? There's an argument he made there about globalization. But then he says artificial football's never been more popular, but those are artificially inflated audiences. Football's not a highlight package of 5 minutes. Football is cultural expression. I'm like, what are you on? Like, this is not communication. Like, no, give me one concept, follow your argument to the end.
And
the
maybe
fact
the
that
concept was that poor people can't go and watch matches because tickets are too expensive on television. It could be on cable TV, so they can't.
But that's not what he's talking about.
I know, but I thought at the start, that was the point that he was going to make, and then he went.
Oh my
went on a
goodness!
tangent.
Honestly,
I know.
Like again, whatever. I would love it if he came and he spoke rationally and clearly, maybe away from a tournament. We just go action. I'm very interested in what he has to say. But this stuff and the reaction from the audience, like, oh look, the wise man has spoken. No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't follow.
Yeah,
Sorry, just for me.
No,
I still like him.
I love him still. Thiago Alcantara has announced his retirement, which is a sad day for all the ballers and the purists of the game in the world. Gab, can you provide some context, please?
Yeah, so it's funny because he's been. Well, first of all, he'll always have a spot in my heart because, of course,
all of us.
You know, he and his brother, the other Rafinha, their dad is Mazinho. I don't know if it was him or his brother. I think it might have been him. Actually born in Italy. Mazinho, of course, the legendary fullback from the 1994 Brazil World Cup winning side. So he had in his DNA.
Fullback or centre mid?
We played both, but I think it was mostly fullback on that team. I love the fact that he and his brother played for different countries, right? One Spain, one Brazil.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you know, very Barcelona, tiki-taka, that kind of stereotype of the time. But then he goes to Bayern, works with Pep, develops a directness, develops even some pressing to it. But just his whole career has just been so marked by injuries. I didn't like the deal from the Liverpool perspective when he signed.
I remember you saying on the show, as soon as it happened, you were not keen.
Because it was a lot of money in wages, and it was a relatively high transfer fee for a guy who was not going to have resale value.
Yeah.
Now, I know why they did it, and I suspect, without having any evidence, I'll just speculate, this is the kind of deal where the coach wants, and the Moneyball nerds, Edwards and friends are like, nah, I'm not sure about this. But from Klopp's perspective is, when I play teams that park the bus, I want the guy who can pick out the pass from nowhere, and it's him. But I think obviously the injuries meant, you know, we'll look at it a different way.
Artist, but yeah.
But he was such a special, just a joy to watch as a player. But good for him as well. 33. He's got a long time. There's so many things he can do to contribute to the game.
Gab, we talked last time about Stefano Pioli on his way to Al Ittihad, but this seems to be collapsing.
Yeah, so apparently it's the guy who runs Al Ittihad. It's been replaced. Lomi, some dude I'd never heard of. It just goes to show that, again, when we stereotype, you know my views on stereotyping. Right? So we've very stereotyped the Saudi Pro League as the public investment fund owning everything, when in fact they don't. It's 4 teams plus some limited investment in others. And there's just one guy signing check after check after check.
Yeah.
No, there isn't. Within whatever parameters they have, they're still running businesses. They're still trying to operate like football clubs. This guy wanted Pioli, was ready to sign a big check for him. Other people within the club maybe didn't. They had a disagreement. And now he's left. You know, we need to stop thinking about places that seem far away to those of us of a Eurocentric persuasion as places where people are just weirdos and do weird things, and there's no logic to it. There is a logic to it. There's a logic to the Saudi Pro League. All those people who said, like, oh, within 5 years, Saudi Pro League's going to be bigger than La Liga, blah, blah, blah. Look at all their building. No, well, in the end, they still need a business plan.
Yeah.
They still need to make ends meet. They still need to make things work. And I think this is one example of it. And I think it's that more than the fact that Karim Benzema didn't want Stefano Pioli.
Definitely not.
At some point, like, okay, you know, who died and made you king, Karim? You know, like, you don't like Gajardo. You didn't like, who was the guy before him we didn't like?
Nuno Santos.
Oh, yeah, of course. Nuno Espirito. Yeah. Well, that one's kind of easier to understand, you know. But is he on holiday in the Maldives again?
No, because I saw him in his gym somewhere in his house. So I think he's back in Madrid, maybe.
Does he need to go back for preseason?
Soon, I think, but not now. Is it?
All right. Yeah. Okay. I hope he's being consulted on the next manager anyway.
Okay, for more ahead of this game, you can see him there. Let's cross live to our senior reporter, Rob Dorset. Very good morning to you, Rob. Right, really? Is there any chance that Harry Kane could be dropped?
No, there isn't any chance at all, Rob. Forget it. Stop talking about it. No, look, it's not quite that, is it? But let me throw some stats your way. 51 goals in 57 games for club and country this season. 7 goals in his last 8 knockout games at major tournaments for England. He's taken England to 3 semi-finals in 4 major tournaments. He's England's all-time leading goal scorer. For any other nation to even contemplate dropping a player like Harry Kane, they'd think we were completely bonkers. But I understand why there's a discussion there, because Ivan Toney has done very well when he's come on the pitch for Harry Kane, and I don't think Harry Kane is fit. He's not looked his usual sharp best, has he, in this tournament? Let's be absolutely honest. Yes, he's got 2 goals. They were tap-ins, that you'd expect him to get those. Listen, Gary Lineker made an entire career out of only scoring tap-ins, and he's been one of his staunchest critics in this tournament. And Harry Kane is only 1 goal away from the guys that are leading the chase for the Golden Boot. Cody Gakpo from the Netherlands, one of them. And he will have his eyes set on that target. So look, no, it's not going to happen, but I think there's a really strong chance that when Harry Kane starts the game in this semi-final against the Netherlands, he won't finish the game for it. If you look at the stats so far, he's only played 90 minutes twice out of the 5 games, and that hints at what I'm saying. Harry Kane isn't fit. He had that back injury at the end of the domestic season with Bayern Munich. He's still not as sharp as he would like to be. I don't know whether he's nursing that back. Of course, England and he are keeping that very, very secret right now, but he's not at his absolute best. He can't keep up with play in the way that we're used to seeing him doing. He's dropping deep and linking up play well, but then he's not on the end of Bukayo Saka's pullbacks when the Arsenal man's made a number of those. And Ivan Toney, when he's come on the pitch, held the ball up very, very well, won free kicks on halfway, won more duels on halfway when the ball's been pumped up to him on average than the England captain has as well. And of course, I think this is part of the significance. I think this is why there's a discussion going on amongst some supporters. We always know that Harry Kane is England's best goal scorer and best penalty taker. He's been somebody that England have relied on for penalties for best part of 8 years under Gareth Southgate. But he was substituted in extra time in that last quarter-final game with penalties looming. And we all went, oh my word, what's this all about? What happened? Ivan Toney was one of 5 England players who scored 5 perfect penalties while Harry Kane watched on from the sidelines. I think that's all part of an eventual changing of the guard, but not now. And I think it's all indicative of the fact that Harry Kane isn't fully fit. But all of that is irrelevant. He will start the game against the Netherlands, absolutely guaranteed. He's talking to the media alongside the England manager at 5:35 later on this afternoon from Dortmund, which is always proof that he is going to start. It's not a debate inside the England camp, it's a debate outside the England camp. But I really wouldn't be surprised if the England captain wasn't on the pitch when we get to 90 minutes tomorrow.
OK, glad you put that one to bed. Right, England's final training session before their semi-final takes place. So that's this morning. What are the key issues to be decided?
Loads of them, Rob, loads of them. I mean, look, I think Mark Gay will come straight back into the side and he'll come straight back into a back 3 rather than the back 4 that he left. He was suspended for that quarter-final, of course, against Switzerland. And he was deputised by Ezri Konsa, making his first start in a major tournament. And look, I want to have a word about Ezri Konsa because he was brilliant in that game. And he's so non-complaining and versatile. Bear in mind, he's played left-back a lot for England in this tournament when he's come off the bench. He played in the back of a left 3, in the left of a back 3 for his first major start in a major tournament and did brilliantly. All season long for Aston Villa, he's helped them qualify for the Champions League, playing right back and centre back largely in a back 4. They don't play in a back 3, Villa. I think they've done it 3 times this season. So that tells you an awful lot about him, and I think it'll be a difficult one for Gareth Southgate to make that decision, but I do expect him to make it. I think Mark Gay will come straight back in because he's been England's best defender before he got suspended. So 2 brilliant players in the same position there. We've seen that so many times with England over the years, haven't we? So that is one change that I think definitely will happen. It may be the only change that Gareth Southgate goes for. I say may, we'll try and find out over the next 12 hours or so, 24 hours or so. But the big debate is at left wing back because Kieran Trippier's been playing there and playing well, but there are some pundits and fans, and I understand this argument, who feel it's very important for England to get a left-footed option on that left flank. And when Luke Shaw did come on, he did offer England a bit more natural width there. He did look to go beyond his fullback a little bit. And yet, Kieran Trippier was outstanding defensively in the game as well. So I understand why there's a discussion there. I think that discussion will be decided by stats and evidence that we're not a party to. What are the medical men and women telling Gareth Southgate behind the scenes about Luke Shaw's fitness? No football at all competitively since the middle of February. He played 42 minutes the other night. That was more than he was expected to. How's he recovered from that physically? He told us yesterday he's good to go, desperately wants to start. Of course he's saying that publicly, and I know he's saying that behind the scenes to the manager. But what are the medical stats saying? Is it realistic that when they're coming up against Denzel Dumfries, who's Inter Milan's roaming, rampaging right back, that Luke Shaw, having played 42 minutes in 5 months, is going to defend against him very, very effectively? Kieran Trippier probably will, and he's well honed in that position now in this tournament. So I think that's a big discussion and a big debate for Gareth Southgate, and one that I'm sure we will continue to have until kick-off tomorrow night. But beyond the Mark Gay in for Ezri Konsa shift, I don't see the England manager tweaking very much, and I absolutely think he'll stick with the same formation that he went with, having had a big change in the tournament, going with that in the quarter-final.
We're going to turn our attention now to the Copa America and speak to our South American football expert, Tim Vickery. Tim, how are you, mate?
Very good. Very well, thank you, gentlemen. And looking forward to kicking the ball around with you across the Atlantic over the next few minutes.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Right, let's talk about it. Brazil eliminated on penalties. Argentina scraped through on penalties. Has there been a standout team at this Copa America this year?
Yes, there has, and it's called Colombia.
Wow. Coached
by the former Swindon Town defender Néstor Lorenzo. Didn't take up, he was an assistant for years and years and years. Didn't take up coaching until he was 55. And my God, he's good. I mean, the Colombia side, they're really, really well coached. They know when they look to press, and sometimes they'll drop off 2 lines of 4 close together. Other times they'll hunt impacts higher up the field. And he's got a song out of James Rodriguez. Now, James Rodriguez is at club level a forgotten man. He's been in Brazil now for nearly a year. He hasn't been playing. His club don't want to know him. He's played 10 minutes in the last 3 months for Sao Paulo. They don't want to know him. But Néstor Lorenzo has really got him singing a tune. What they do with him, it's a very structured side, Colombia. Narrow 3 in midfield, back 4, 2 strikers doing the channels up front, especially Luis Diaz. And they kind of hide James. So he can go and he can wander. He can find his little pockets of space, and then he is the supply line for Luis Diaz. And it's working very well. They're more than 2.5 years unbeaten now, Colombia, and their semi-final, which is Wednesday, it's them and Uruguay. That should be something to look forward to. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, there's a couple of reasons not to be cheerful about this tournament. One of them is the heat, and a lot of the stadiums are covered and air conditioned. But even so, people are training in over 40 degrees of heat, and there are some stadiums that aren't. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really hot. We had a linesman from Guatemala collapsed in the first half of one game.
Wow.
From Guatemala, if you
that's a hot country.
Yeah. Exactly. The other thing that worries me a little bit is most of the pitches are small. They're American football pitches, so they're 5 meters shorter and 5 meters narrower. So it can be hard to find space. I mean, Brazil and Uruguay last night, it was a dreadful, dreadful game of football. You thought, kind of scrap the game, let's go straight to penalties, because nothing happened apart from fouls and misplaced passes for 90 minutes. And part of that is the rivalry, but also part of that is, reduced space means more friction, because he's played off their 4 games, he's played 3. I don't think he's 100%. When he's on the pitch, he's been involved in all of the goals that Argentina have scored while he's been on the pitch. And he does the odd fantastic thing, but he's not what he was. And there are times when you thought, a couple of years ago, you'd have got away from the defender there, and he isn't. And this is a problem, I think. This is a dilemma for Argentina. And their semi-final against Canada should be straightforward enough, but they got a game in the final. And you remember the World Cup. They come to the World Cup, and they'd had a long unbeaten run, and it was all tippity tappity. They dictate the rhythm and so on, and then they explode in the final third. When they got to the World Cup, they realised things were harder. They lost to Saudi Arabia first game, and the whole thing was harder than they planned for. And if Messi was going to do so little, you had to have someone doing the running for him. So they replaced the centre forward, Lautaro Martinez, with Julian Alvarez. And Alvarez had a terrific World Cup, as well as the goal threat. He was doing a running for Messi. Now, in this tournament, Lautaro Martinez is a top scorer. But that same problem is there, that if you don't play Julian with Lautaro, with Messi, you've missed out on the extra man in the build-up, and you worry. And this was part of their problems against Ecuador. Ecuador played a very poor group phase, but they got the team right in the quarter-final.
Yeah.
3 in central midfield, meaning that Moises Caicedo can run forward. He'd been running backwards and sideways. He runs forward, he commits you. And Enner Valencia, your old mate Carlton, is a real handful for the defence. Unfortunately, he missed a penalty, but it never should have been a penalty in the first place. One of these handballs that people are inventing these days. But Ecuador physically strong, and they made it difficult for Argentina to do what Argentina want to do, which is have the ball in the final third and then finally change the rhythm. So this is a dilemma, I think, for Argentina. If Messi is going to do this little, can they afford not to play Julian Alvarez, even though Lautaro Martinez is top scorer? I think that puts them in a dilemma. And we weren't far away. I think looking at Messi as it is, this is a kind of referendum for him on whether he can play the World Cup in 2 years' time. Yeah. And he hasn't made his mind up yet. He said, I'll see if I can do myself justice. And on what we're seeing so far, you would certainly have doubts. So we were nearly, in that penalty shootout, he went for the Panenka and hit the bar. That could have been, had Martinez of Villa not stepped up and won the penalty shootout again, that could have been his last kick in a competitive game for Argentina.
Look, we're just talking about Messi there. We look at the players as well. I'm just trying to compare the two. When I look at Kante, they've gone to Saudi Arabia. See Cristiano Ronaldo. See some other players have gone to Saudi Arabia, and they've come into this European tournament. They look fresh.
Yeah.
Is there a element of it's a lesser competition that the MLS does bring, which doesn't give the pace and the goal and the I don't know, the competitiveness that Messi might need to play another season to get to the World Cup?
Possible, but you can look at this one of two ways. You can say that the football isn't competitive enough, or you can say that he's not wearing himself out during the club season and he'll be fresh for the tournament. So I tend to the view that the most important thing is not that. It's simply, that race between the athlete and time. Long term, there's only ever one winner. Time wins that one. But is time going to win that one for Messi before USA 2026, which is going to be played in lots of hot places? And this is a worry for football. We've probably got this Club World Cup this time next year in the States, and both for that and for the World Cup in 2026, the kickoff times are going to be earlier than they are for the Copa America for the European TV audience, which means it's going to be hotter in those stadiums that are uncovered, and this I think is a problem.
When we look at obviously Argentina be playing Canada in the semis, but Jesse Marsh's Canada have made it to the semi-finals, obviously. Do they stand any chance against Argentina on Wednesday? Like, any chance whatsoever?
They played him in the first game, opening game of the tournament, and lost 2-0. But they could have scored. They've only scored 2, Canada, and a problem with them, I think, is the number of chances that they need to score goals. But they've got better. They've certainly got more confidence. There are some players there. There's a winger called Schaffelberg. He doesn't last the games, but he's Alphonso Davies, the big star, the Bayern Munich man. Yeah. He's playing quite conservatively as a left back. They've got him playing quite defensively, quite a long way from goal. And this fella Schaffelberg in front of him on the left, he can do stuff. David is such a... They got both Larin and David. They can curb your enthusiasm. David is neat, but they don't quite score enough goals for me. And that was a problem in the opening game with Argentina. And I think it's going to be a problem in the semi-final. We always looked at the two halves of the draw and you thought, well, Argentina's half. The only side who can really cause them a problem are Ecuador, who did, but they're through that one now. The more interesting half of the draw was always the other side, where you had the USA, who aren't bad. The USA crashed out because they had a man sent off in a vital game against Panama. And I tell you, in the heat, playing with 10 men for 70 or 80 minutes.
Sad.
You can't do it. Everyone who's lost a man early has gone out. You had Brazil in that half of the draw, they've gone, and you got Uruguay and Colombia. So we're hoping, I think, for a showpiece occasion. I actually hope it's going to be Argentina-Colombia, because Colombia, their support is incredible. There's a massive Colombian community in the States, and they really get behind their team. And the atmosphere we're going to have in Miami this time next week, if it's Colombia against Argentina, it's going to be outrageous.
I want to be there.
Tim,
do you know what? I've just left there as well.
Have you?
Oh, mate. I
chose the wrong time.
Schoolboy, innit?
Tim, top stuff. Cheers for joining us, mate.
Cheers, mate.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Speak to you soon.
On AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.
All right, guys, let's chat on the big match of the day, shall we? We're chatting some Euro semifinal action. Spain is going to be taking on France today. Spain, the only remaining team left in the Euros that I think we would all agree have played up to their potential. And perhaps maybe we underestimated them heading into this competition. I feel like the conversation around Spain was not that they were a favorite in the same way that France was, but they beat the host nation Germany in extra time. They've won all 5 of their matches. Tony, do you think that we underestimated them, and if so, why?
Maybe a little bit. Young team, right? Young group of players, a manager that came from the youth system that maybe the Spanish weren't really sold on, but has kind of bedded himself in with this group with regards to knowing who they are. He managed the majority of them at the youth level. And we talked about it yesterday, right? They have a clear style of play. They know who they are, and they're unapologetic about who they are. They want to have the ball. Although this team is a little bit more direct than we saw 4 years ago in this competition, but they are entertaining nonetheless. They love to score goals. They love to get forward. They get really good performances, especially in this midfield. Of course, you're seeing Yamal here, who's one of the stars of the tournament. Between him and Nico Williams, who I know we'll get to in a little bit, Charlie, this group has been by far, if you're going to turn on a TV and just by accident turn on a game that's going to be entertaining to watch, these guys have been entertaining.
He's spot on. I think the youth, the inexperience that you're saying, at the international level, I don't know if Lamine Yamal is going to have that impact that he had at Barcelona. I don't know if Nico Williams is going to be able to continue his fantastic form from the season, but they've done that. And when you look at how Rodri, who has connected the most passes in these Euros, being able to find them isolated 1v1 and generating chances from those one-on-one matchups, it's just been incredible. And then Morata, who hasn't been sensational, but when you have 2 wingers like that, you have so much more space and there's opportunities to play. So the biggest miss for the Spanish side, though, is going to be Carvajal, who's suspended. Yep. We saw him come up big for Real Madrid in the Champions League final. He came up big in the match against Germany. Some huge, massive tackles.
Experience in Carvajal is invaluable.
Yeah.
You do get experience in Jesus Navas.
Oh, are we really going to talk about Jesus Navas defending?
But relax, I'm not saying I don't think you can even compare them at this point.
No.
Like, they both bring experience to the table, but give me, at this point in time, give me Carvajal over Jesus Navas every time.
How important is experience, especially against France?
It is very important, but you need to be defensively sound as well. And I think Carvajal brings a lot more to the table than Jesus Navas. And Spain is going to have to see where they can make up. Also, Lenormand is suspended as well, so you're going to have to put Nacho in there. So
that's not as bad.
The drop-off. Again, I don't want to disrespect Jesus Navas because he's had an unbelievable career.
Right, and he's talking about,
but he's still good enough.
Right, Mbappé.
He's still good enough to be on the national team. But
but we're talking about.
I agree with everything you're saying. It's going to be
the absolute monsters and athletes that he's going to have to deal with in terms of pace and strength. It's a different ask for Jesus Navas than it would be with Dani Carvajal, who's proven he can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think from De La Fuente's standpoint, right, you look at a guy, okay, we don't have Carvajal, so I need somebody that's not going to be in awe of this mission. right? And the guy that's, I think he's 37 or 38 years old now, and Jesus Navas.
Navas 38.
He's 38. Okay, he's not gonna. This is not gonna be overwhelming for him, right? He's been in these situations before. He'll do it a little bit differently. He probably won't pressure Mbappé, like go step up to him at midfield and give him a lot of space to run in. So he'll do it in a different way. But I think from De La Fuente's standpoint, like he doesn't really have a choice right now. He's got to depend. So at least he's got a guy with experience that understands the moment. And it's 90 minutes. It's not like his legs will be tired from playing a whole bunch of minutes this competition. They will be after 90 minutes, yeah.
You guys will tell me, but to help Jesus Navas, you got to get Lamine Yamal to be tracking back, because if they double you up with Mbappé and Theo, who loves getting high, and that combination could result lethal for Spain.
And mind you, Nacho is also
back.
coming into it. So you have
on that
the
side,
right
weaker side.
For Spain is going to be under immense pressure, because you know Deschamps is going to say, okay, we are. This is one point of attack for us that we have to make sure we're putting a lot of pressure on Spain, and which Lamine Yamal is going to have to do a lot of defending, which obviously takes away from their attack.
Let's chat on the other side of this matchup and looking at France, who entered the Euros as, I think, the clearer favorite probably. If you look at that roster on paper, it is absolutely stacked. But it's been kind of just a lackluster performance overall from them. They've only scored 3 goals in this competition. Mind you, they've been very sound defensively. But for them, how important is a healthy Mbappé going to be for them? Because he suffered that broken nose, and you do see the effects of that, and it feels like they just haven't been able to kind of put it all together with him, and then he is the massive piece that's been missing for them, Tony.
Yeah, he's the one guy, as Charlie was just talking about. This needs to be his day, right? Because if you look at these matchups and you look at Navas on that side, you're thinking this is where we can win the game. But when I look at this French side, and I still, especially in wide areas, Dembele and Mbappé look like they've been on an island when they get the ball, right? There's no connective passes. There's nothing. There's not a lot of combination play. There's a couple guys that have stood out to me, though. N'Golo Kanté stood out to me in this competition. I think he's been outstanding for France.
He's unbeaten in Euros history.
Yeah, that's right.
He's never lost a Euros game?
Never lost. 8 wins and 5 draws.
Wow.
Never lost.
Theo Hernandez has been really good, and Magnon has been really good in goal. And outside of that, Suze, I don't know that we look at this, because when you look at the names, you're thinking Thuram the season he had, Tchouaméni the season he had, Koundé. Like, you're thinking about all these players, and you're like,
been pretty solid.
He's been okay, yeah. He hasn't been, but there's not a lot of cohesion in this group right now. And we've been saying, what, 5 games now? It's coming this game, it's coming this game, it's coming this game, and we haven't gotten there.
And to your point, in the attacking third, the thing that they're missing, it seems like, is Olivier Giroud, what he brought to the team, being consistent, the positioning. You knew how he was playing, and the 2 wingers could work off of him, Mbappé or Thuram, Mbappé or Dembele or Kolo Muani. Now with him, who hasn't really been featured in this tournament in an important way, in a significant way, Thuram or Kolo Muani, neither have really been able to hold that number 9 position, and Mbappé is constantly floating from central to wing, trying to find himself in these games. And like you said, it's been disjointed, and Dembele has been so wasteful when he has been on the pitch. So, it's.
Do you think Didier Deschamps will make that change? Do you think this is the match in which he'll maybe change things up because things haven't been working as well as they would have wanted?
I'm surprised that he might start without Griezmann, who hasn't been playing well, and go back to probably France's best performance at a major tournament. Their last best performance at a major tournament was at the World Cup, and who was unplayable? Antoine Griezmann, who he hasn't been on form. So when he's arguably France's most essential player. The best player is Mbappé, but the most essential player.
The best player in this tournament has been N'Golo Kanté, though.
Right, in this tournament. But I'm talking about essential, what makes France tick. If Griezmann's off the mark, enough to get benched, because he's not going to be in the midfield. You got Dembele, Kolo Muani, and Mbappé. Where's Deschamps going to work him in? I think that's very telling of how much France has dropped off.
I can't see him benching Griezmann because of his player profile.
So who would you put him in for?
If you play,
I agree.
If you play Thuram, Mbappé, and Colomwani or Dembele, it's three basically the same type of player.
Right.
In the way that they're always going forward. No one's coming underneath.
So who would be your three? Because the midfield's going to be Tchouaméni, Kanté, Rabiot. Without a doubt. So who you benching? Because you're not benching Mbappé.
Thuram is who you probably got to take out of this lineup and play Griezmann as a false nine. But he is the best connector in this group of the attacking players. As much as he scores goals, as much as he assists goals, he's the one guy that will connect the group. And it looks like, according to reports, that he's not going to start for Deschamps.
Nope.
So.
If I was Deschamps, I would play Griezmann as that left winger who comes inside, because Theo Hernandez is bombing forward. So it gives the squad balance.
But then everything that we talked about with the weak side of Spain being on the right, you wouldn't keep Mbappé there?
We've seen Mbappé be very ineffective in that left wing spot.
Keep him closer to goal?
Yeah, play him at the 9.
I don't know. I'm looking at L'Equipe starting 11 and they don't have a Griezmann. And I get it. Form-wise, if you didn't know who Griezmann was and you just saw him in this tournament, I get it.
Yeah.
Bench him. But you know what he can give you. You know how much he can unlock this French team. We've seen it before. He was, again, if France would have won the World Cup, he could have been the best player at that tournament. Obviously, Mbappé with the hat-trick in the final is probably would have swayed that in Mbappe's favor, but Griezmann was so good in that World Cup.
He was good in the World Cup prior to that in 2018.
And he's essential to this team. He's essential to the makeup and the feel of this team. And the fact that Deschamps might not start him, I think, is telling of where they are at. They're trying to find a solution.
It's a Euro semi-final. It's all on the line. I'm going to ask a question to the group on both sides of this matchup. In order for Spain to advance, X needs to happen. Tony, what would you say that is?
Possession percentage needs to be in their favor, for sure. They need to keep the ball more than France and let France chase. And I think that suits them in the way that they want to play. They're not a run and gun. They're not a counter-attacking team. They can go direct when they need to, but I think they need to have a little bit more possession today than they maybe have had in a couple of the matches so far.
Do you agree?
Yeah, they have to be defensively sound. We talked about Nacho and Jesus Navas coming into the team. They can't be left on an island to defend 1v1. They lack a lot of pace and athleticism. Of course, if they're able to anticipate these transition moments and the counterattack and not allow France to have all that space in behind, I think that will suit them. But like Tony said, the more possession they have, the better it is for Spain.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think they need to have control of the game, and they need to kill France off when they have the chance. I was listening to an interview with Nico Williams on Spanish TV, and he says, my coach at Athletic Bilbao tells me he doesn't want me to be a highlights player. It's really nice to juke people out, hit a couple step-overs, and you look good on TikTok and on Instagram. It's a highlights player. Finish, hit that cross, score that goal. And he has at these Euros, but you can tell he's still raw. There's still an extra step to go to be that world-class, consistent, week in, week out type of player that obviously Barca apparently is going crazy if they want to go after him, per reports.
I would too if I was
so,
Barca.
Because there's so much potential there. You see it. So it's that. It's between Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams.
Okay, same question, but for France. In order for France to advance, X needs to happen.
I like where your head's at today.
Thank
you. She came in with an agenda today.
Yeah. They need to step up a couple of gears and bring a dynamic that we haven't seen at this Euros from them.
They need to be more efficient in the final third. That's it. Just clear ideas and not isolating players 1v1 and making it an individual tournament in the final third for France.
50-plus shots so far in the tournament without scoring a goal in the run of play. Final third. They need to score goals when they have opportunities.
To Copa America or the Euros, and there is another one to talk about. It's the Netherlands against England. Yes, England have somehow found themselves in a semi-final. This is the road they've taken. Let's just say it's not been the prettiest route, but they are here anyway, And they can't complain about that too much at this point, Macca. Jules is still with us. We'll get his thoughts in a minute. But
the mighty England
they got to the semis.
Yes, got to the semis. We're hoping that we can see a better performance. But yes, they've got there. They need to be congratulated that they have got there. But they're still in the semi-finals, which is an achievement in itself. But, you know, we're here. And we're, as fans, well, certainly I want England to go on and win this tournament. So if they are going to win it, they're going to have to perform better than they have done against, you know, some of the teams we've shown there. Because, with all respect, some of the teams that England have beat have respectively been the minnows of European football. They haven't beat, you know, these powerhouses, and they've avoided all the right teams. But they're going to meet a decent side tomorrow. Not a good team, not a great team, but a decent side tomorrow in the Netherlands. And let's see how they get on. Sorry, not tomorrow, Wednesday. Sorry.
Yeah, Wednesday. So what's to say, Stevie, that it's not going to be more of the same from England? Is there any argument to be made that it won't be?
In a word, no. I mean, when you've been that poor for so many games on the trot, and eventually for the last one he changed it to 3 at the back, allegedly. As Macca said, all he did was shuffle things around a little bit. And as much as they were better, they weren't that much better. And they're playing against a team in Holland who, listen, defensively in some games have looked a little suspect. And certainly going forward, Gakpo, Depay, Malen, Simon, they've actually looked quite lively at times. So all of these things I'm talking about is not what you can say about England. I mean, it's really tough to come up with reasons why England should beat this Dutch side. And quite frankly, other than luck, other than they're capable of one of them, whether it's Bellingham or Foden, maybe even Harry Kane, as poor as he's been, they've got players who, when things have been so bad and they look as though they're dead and buried, can produce something. That's my argument over. I ain't going to talk about great football. I ain't going to talk about combination play. I ain't going to talk about any silky soccer. I'm talking they've got players who are capable of doing something from now on. That's the reason that they might win this game.
Given that Stevie's naming names, who does need to step up for England?
Well, I think the captain needs to step up, Harry Kane, because we've mentioned it before. I think Phil Foden has to step up. And I'm only saying this because of the seasons that they've just come out of. Amazing for Bayern Munich, but we haven't seen anything of that form in the Euros. Phil Foden the same, but he is the skipper. He is the leader of the group. He's also got Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins on the bench, and they're not getting a look in. And you can imagine what they're saying to Gareth Southgate or to their family secretly on the phones. How can I not play when the centre forward is offering so little? But we know tomorrow that he's done it before, so he could easily do it again. Harry Kane, that can step up and score the goals and be the match winner. But he's going to have to, because he will play. He's another undroppable, as we've said throughout this tournament. Gareth Southgate won't leave him out in case things don't go right and Gareth Southgate's head's on the block. So Harry will play, Harry will lead the line, Harry will captain the team, and hopefully Harry will get the goals and get a more complete performance, because he has scored goals in this tournament.
I think he's the only one that I can actually stand up for and say, I don't think he's fit.
Okay.
And he's maybe being asked to do things that he's not physically capable of. Because clearly at the end of the season with Bayern, his back was bothering him, and he certainly hasn't looked anywhere near the player that we've seen over the last decade. Never mind just this tournament. So I do feel for him a little. I think he is carrying an injury, but I think Southgate, even though he knows that, is still going to ask him. And if he asks him to play, he's going to play.
Jules?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. The debate over Kane is clearly, as we said, not fair. He can't press. He's never been the greatest of pressers anyway, even under Pochettino at Spurs. But now it's even less efficient. And Phil Foden a few days ago said, well, we practice stuff at training in terms of pressing and we don't do it in the game. And that was clearly aimed at Kane. So it'd be very interesting. A Dutch team with a bit of momentum. Still, not great, but have a bit that momentum. The Turkey win was good. For England, it's those individuals that can make the difference, because as we know collectively and with Southgate, they just don't have a direction, they don't have a plan or a style either. So England favourite for me, but quite narrowly.
Where's it going to be won and lost, this game, do you think? Which area of the field?
I mean, you could ask me that any time England play. I honestly don't know, okay? We hope that the difference makers, the Fodens, the Bellinghams, the Kanes, who we just meant, the Sakas, I don't know who else is going to play, whether Luke Shaw will play or he'll play on the left-hand side, whether he'll play defensive again. But you just hope that they have a really good game. That's all you can do. They have to be strong at the back, but they have been fairly strong at the back. But they're going to have to break down a defensive. I don't know whether Van der Ven will play, but De Vrij, Virgil van Dijk, who knows all these players inside out, Denzel Dumfries, who's a good player in his own right. So they're going to have to do something special to break them down, because the Dutch are playing a little bit better. I mean, I haven't been impressed by Depay, but Cody Gakpo's been great. You know, he has been trying to do things. Javi Simons can be good on his day, so they can be dangerous. But I wouldn't know, because I haven't seen it game after game after game. I don't know who's England's best player. Possibly Bellingham in a forward position. I don't know. So you're hoping one of them who've had a great season for their club finally brings it in a huge game, semi-final. You know, to drive you into the final, you hope one of them really stands up and takes the country, takes his team on the back of his shoulders and say, this is what we're going to do. Because I don't necessarily expect it from the manager. It's going to have to be the players.
Have you heard anything about Luke Shaw from out there, Jules? Obviously, I know you're following France so closely out there, but has there been any word on Luke Shaw?
Yeah, he did his press conference today, which is quite interesting, because it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that he will start, obviously, Wednesday, but it's still an indication that, well, he's back on the pitch. We saw that against Switzerland. He finished the game quite well. Is that enough, considering he hadn't played since February before that, to start in a semi-final of a tournament like this? Massive game against the Dutch team, as we said, not great, but really physical. We mentioned Dumfries, whoever's going to play on the right wing, Malen, Bergwijn, Xavi Simons, really, that's a big test for sure. I'm not sure he's ready, but I think he wants to play, and he was quite honest today, saying that he thought his injury, that was it. It was the Euros gone, so I think he's really happy to still be there. And because England went that far, that enabled him to play a bit, because otherwise, if they had gone out in the group stage, he would have gone home having not played a single second, hardly trained either. So it's an option for Southgate, especially with a back three where he could have all that left-hand side for him.
What do you reckon?
Well, I don't understand why you would put a player in that press conference a couple of days before the game if you don't think he's playing.
Yeah. He did say he's fit and well and he wants to play if called upon.
So that's number one, right? That makes no sense unless he's playing. But then that tells you that they're playing a back four, because he can't play as a wide midfielder, getting up and down.
A wing back, yeah.
A wing back. Considering he's had, 30 minutes in the last 8 months, is it?
Since February.
So that makes no... So that means he's going back to a back four. And in my eyes, that's what's going to happen. He's going back to a back four. So we know how they've played with a back four this tournament.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I think he'll actually play with a 5 or 3 at the back, as we keep saying it, 5. And he'll keep Saka and Walker and Stones, and he'll bring back Gahey, and Konza will drop out, and he'll put Luke Shaw in, and then he effectively has still got a real defensive core then. I think he'll be double safe, and then he'll play Mainu and Rice, so effectively he'll have 7 defenders with the goalkeeper. I think he'll go the other way. But I mean, I'm only guessing. Semi-final, the way Gareth thinks, I think he'll come in because
that's a gamble, isn't it? That's a gamble. If you're going to play a back three and you're going to have Shaw in that wide area, that's a gamble.
Yeah, but he's got three defenders behind him. That's what I'm saying.
But they got 3 up front.
Yeah.
But they got 3 up front.
No, I know.
Which means he's going to have.
But then he's Bellingham.
So it doesn't make any sense to play a back three with Shaw. I guess that's my point, Joe.
Yeah. I don't want.
That makes no sense.
I'm the same as you. I do not want to see that. I don't want to see what I've just said. That's the last.
You think we might?
That I would detest that if we've got 5 defenders like that. Well, Saka's not a defender. He's a right wing back, and he had his best game. That's why I don't think he'll change it. But to have that 4 on that side, I just think takes it away from that side of the pitch. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really do.
Go ahead, Jules.
No, I agree with what Stevie, with the boys together. To be fair, the back 4 could be tempted for sure, but then I think the back 3 showed that the solidity is there. And then whether you think that Saka can play in a game like this against a very attacking, well, Cody Gakpo, let's put it that way, because he's a bit of a hybrid when he plays for the Netherlands, as a bit of a left wing back and also as a bit of a left winger. It'd be very interesting to see. It's just that there's a point where, like, if you want to keep everybody, so Saka and Foden and Bellingham and Kane and Mainu and Rice, you just have to be clever on how you organize it all. That's it.
All right, well, let's take a look at the predictions, shall we? Everybody super confident, it would appear. England wins throughout, and Stevie was spitting as he had to give
Even you put England victory.
Even Stevie Nicol.
You can play this bad and get this far, and somebody's pushing you forward. I don't know who it is, but...
Yeah, well, that's how we look. That is coming up on Wednesday, and there'll be a lot of talk about it on Tuesday's show. Looking ahead to it, and of course, looking back on what happens between Spain and France. Make sure to join Dan and the team on ESPN FC. Make sure to join us every single day. Let's get you through some of the latest transfer talk, shall we? Starting with Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United, said to be closing in on the signing of the player from Bologna. Julian Laurent is still with us as we talk a little bit more about this. Jules, what more can you tell us about Zirkzee to Manchester United?
Yeah, it seems that it's getting closer now. We know that what made the deal to Milan not happen was the agent commission, that Milan didn't want and could not agree with Kia Joorabchian, who is Zirkzee's agent. That seems to somehow have been resolved with Manchester United. It doesn't seem to be the same problem. And Zirkzee is happy to go and work with Ten Hag at United. So this one, for a release clause of 40 million euros, so 35 million pounds, for a young player, young striker, who's not a clinical finisher in the sense that somebody who's going to get you 40 goals a season, but can do so many other things, so many great things with the ball, as we saw in Bologna, in a very fluid team. It looks like this could be one of the first new signings for United this summer.
All right, so there we go, Manchester United. So let's talk a little bit about Liverpool, given the fact that we've got you two guys here. And we've mentioned, because we've seen a lot from Liverpool's players in both of the tournaments that we've been covering, from the likes of Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, and you can see Diogo Jota's name there. Mo Salah, obviously, that's a different subject. But when it comes to this, we're seeing 5 players to fit into what, 3 slots?
Yeah, but I think that's fine. I think it worked well last year. The amount of games Liverpool are going to play competitive, and now they're back in the Champions League, I think it'll be fine. They'll be involved in all cup competitions. They'll want to go far in all cup competitions. Of course, 5 into 3 doesn't go, especially when you've got some of the academy kids, the youngsters wanting to push through as well. But I think you need those type of numbers, to be honest, in a forward positions if you want to go far in competition.
So who's starting? Who's your 3?
It will probably be Mo, Luis Diaz, maybe Jota. I think maybe Jota. That was on. If you looked at the end of last season, Gakpo's had a really good summer. But I mean, this is a new manager, new situation, new coaching staff, new sporting directors are back in. You don't know what they're looking forward to, but I certainly think Mo's certainly the favourite. Darwin was a little bit behind. Whether he'll keep on improving, let's hope so.
What do you reckon? Gakpo not said enough, not made enough of a statement to make it a starting position?
It's very difficult to try and figure out what the manager's thinking. You know, had Klopp been starting this season, then all of those players would probably know where they are in the pecking order. Just because of Klopp's not going to wake up one morning and go, oh, I know what I'm going to do. You know, the fact that it's a new manager, other than Mo, I think the rest will be thinking, I've got a chance here.
So you're a manager.
And you don't know what formation he's going to play as well, Kay. You know, Jürgen played three up top like that. You never know what Arne Slot's going to do. I mean, we presume he's going to carry on, but you don't know. He might say, I want 2 up top, I want a big man and a small man. You just don't know.
No, aye. Because, the new manager coming in will absolutely have seen what Klopp did, but will have slightly different ideas. And if he has slightly different ideas, that means that maybe Darwin Núñez comes into it. Maybe he wants a proper centre-forward, a sort of hybrid between a new type of centre-forward, but an old-fashioned one as well. I mean, it depends on what's going through the manager's head. But the one thing guaranteed is that all of those players that we put up there, including Mo and others, know because it's a new manager, I've got a chance of getting in this team. And all I've got to do is make sure I train well, I train hard, and I show well when the game comes around. If I'm doing that, he can't keep me out. And the chances are you will have gone from maybe the 4th spot on the clock to one of the starting 3 because of what you do in front of the new manager.
It's a very transitional period, isn't it, as well, because of the tournaments. Liverpool are back in pre-season training now. So the new manager is working with a lot of the players that are available to work with. These players now, they still haven't finished their respective tournaments. They might be back in a month. So you've got the people back at base have got a head start on them. Of course, when they come in, they'll go right into the first team. But, you know, these are way off playing yet. These are way off impressing the manager. Other people are ahead of them at the moment just because they're training and they're back in the system. These need a break and then they need to get their fitness levels back up. So it might take these till September and October to hit top form again. You never know.
If I'm Diogo Jota, I'm going straight to training camp. I ain't having a break. For 2 reasons. One, you want to get in the team, you want to get in the starting 11, you want to be one of the 3 that we think is going to be playing up front. But he's also missed a lot of last season, so fatigue or anything of that sort of stuff isn't going to come in to his thinking. So if I'm him, as soon as I can, I'm getting my boots and I'm getting myself down to Anfield and making sure that I start training and start showing this guy what I'm about.
Jules, what are your thoughts on it all?
Well, I think the boys made good points. We know that Arne Slot plays a 4-3-3 formation. This is what he's been very dogmatic, certainly with the system at Feyenoord, but even before that. Yeah. We saw what he did with Santi Jimenez up front, who is a similar profile to Darwin Núñez. So it'd be very interesting. We've also seen Darwin Núñez, to stay on him, doing really well under Bielsa for Uruguay in Copa America in a 4-2-3-1. So having a bit more of a support behind him than just the 3 midfielders that he's had behind him at Liverpool, for example. So the boys are right, though. Slot might change something in his own philosophy, although I doubt it. He was also hired because of the similarities, the way he plays and the system that he plays compared to Klopp's system, obviously. So it'd be very interesting. I would rather have a lot of options than not enough options, that's for sure.
Did you want to add something else, Steve, after what?
No, it's okay. It's
okay.
Fine.
When a player does do that, though, just quickly, Stevie, when a player does come back straight away to show themselves willing, what does that say to the manager?
Oh, straight away, you're like, this guy wants to play. I mean, it's that straightforward. This guy doesn't want to break. This guy doesn't want to go and lie on the beach. This guy wants to show me what he's capable of doing. And when you do that, you always push yourself a little further forward because that's straight away in the manager's brain. And as far as you know, Jules is saying, well, he always plays 3. Any coach worth his salt, when he sees what's available to him, if it suits the team better and he's going to get more out of the team and ultimately he's going to win games and be more successful, then he will manipulate that. And so it might change to what he was talking about with a Núñez up on his own with 2 just slightly tucked in. I mean, any proper coach or any real coach worth his salt will use what he's got to the best of their ability. Unless you're Gareth Southgate.
Why did he have to bring it back to England? Why did he have to bring it back to England?
I had a decision to make. Do I bring it in or not?
Yes, of course.
You had a decision to make as to who's going to make the final between England and Netherlands, and you picked England?
Yeah.
Yep. Tuesday brings with it the start of these semi-finals in the Euros, and it is the big one first up between Spain and France. And there's been a lot of talk about Kylian Mbappe's status after he had to come off in that quarter-final against Portugal. Well, here is what Didier Deschamps has had to say about it all. He said, "Don't you think he's already made enough history with what he's done so far? He wants to make even more history. During the preparation, he had a little back problem too, but Kylian is here. Even if he's not 100%, I know very well that for the opponent, knowing he's playing makes them think and forces them to adapt." Let's welcome in Julien Laurent and Sid Lowe as well. We will start with you, Jules. Should Deschamps start Mbappé in this semi-final against Spain?
I think he will start him, but we can debate on whether he should start him or not. Because it's true, and Deschamps is right, he's not 100% physically. He had that back problem, he had a knee issue, he's got obviously the mask and the broken nose, which I think has hindered him so far in this tournament. There's no doubt. He hates wearing the mask. He says he doesn't see the ball properly, doesn't see the game properly. Whether it's an excuse or not, it doesn't matter so much. The fact is he's not 100%, he's not fully fit, and he hasn't been good at all. However, it's still Kylian Mbappé, and you still really need him, especially if it turns out that on Tuesday he actually has a good game. So there's not even a debate, I think, in Deschamps' mind that he will start tomorrow.
Where do you stand on it, Maka? Because we've been talking throughout this tournament about players not quite at 100% for whatever reason it might be, injury, whether they're out of form. At what point does it impact the team? Or is it the case, this is a superstar, we have to play in whatever percentage he's
I think there's only certain people in certain teams that are so-called superstars and are effectively bigger than the team, and Kylian's one of them. Cristiano's another, Lionel Messi's another, regardless of all their form, and all three of their form in the respective competitions has been really poor in these tournaments, but Kylian will play if he wants to play. It will be his decision and his decision alone, and not Didier Deschamps. But his form hasn't been good enough. I don't know whether he can. We discussed it the other day. I don't know whether he can play with a different type of mask on, maybe a perspex mask, which is clear. Whether he can play with just some sort of bandage over his nose so he can see. But he's clearly being inhibited by this mask or by his respiratory problems. So we don't know the full story, but what you'd have to say is he will have to perform and be at his utmost best if he's going to beat this Spanish team, because they are the standout side of the tournament.
Absolutely. Jules, is there any talk on that, what he will do, if there's anything he can do to help him in the mask situation?
Well, this is his fifth mask that he's had, the one that he's wearing now, the kind of Batman-esque mask. I don't think there's another one coming, certainly not now. For the start of the season, if he still needs to wear it, maybe. But for now, this will be the same one that we saw in the Belgium game and obviously in the Portugal game as well.
What would you do, Stevie? Because Frank said here the other day that for the best of everybody, he shouldn't play. As a manager, what would you do?
I think he plays. You know, I think it's important what Deschamps says about the opposition if they see Mbappe's playing. I don't think if you went and asked the opposition, do you want Mbappe to play or not? Every single one of them would say, well, no. I don't care, I don't mask or not, I don't want him playing. So I would start him 100% and see what he produces. And if he doesn't produce anything, then you can take him off. But when you've got a guy who's capable of producing something from nothing, even with a mask on, then you've got to start him. And if it's not going well, and it smells a bit like what's happened previously, then guess what? You can take him off.
Has it been a big topic of conversation, Sid, among the Spanish media, Mbappe's participation in this game?
Yeah, of course it has. I mean, obviously the focus from Spain's point of view is Spain themselves, but Mbappé is the big, the kind of the key issue in terms of looking at France. In fact, so much so that there's been a discussion about what Spain should do about Mbappé, regardless of the mask, regardless of his form. Of course, Spain are without Dani Carvajal, and Dani Carvajal is the player that would have been one-on-one against Mbappé. And there has been that discussion about whether they should change the way that they play, or at least change the personnel to deal with him, because people look at this and they think, okay, so it's Jesus Navas. Jesus Navas is 38. He's quick, or he was quick once, but he's not as quick as Mbappé. So there was even a suggestion that maybe Cucurella change his size to try and take Mbappé on one-on-one. Luis De la Fuente said that won't happen. He said he won't put a left back at right back. He's just not going to do that. But yeah, absolutely, Mbappé is the focal point from a Spanish point of view as well as from a French one.
You're nodding along there, Maka.
Yeah, that was always the concern when Dani Carvajal is a warrior. He's a proper right back, isn't he? If he needs to defend, he can defend. He's played against Kylian on a number of occasions, knows how he plays. Jesus Navas is completely different, as Sid rightly said. And also it looks as if Nacho will come in, so that side of the pitch automatically looks a little bit weaker. But yet again, Kylian needs to be Kylian, doesn't he? They've got Dembele on one side if he plays. They've got Griezmann. There's talk about Griezmann stepping out and Dembele will play. They've got Barcola, who's quick and he's very direct. He could come on. But, you know, as we said before, if Kylian wants to play, if Kylian feels it's fine, Kylian plays. But he has to deliver sooner rather than later. It's all right saying what he did when he scored a hat-trick in the final a couple of years ago, but they lost. It's all right saying what he did previous. Everybody talks about now, don't they? And Kylian needs to produce because he hasn't had a great tournament.
So who is starting for France then, Jules? Obviously, if he does start, what is going on with Griezmann? Will he be dropped?
Yeah, I think this is the most likely scenario now. Dembele coming on against Portugal had a big impact on the game when he replaced Griezmann after the 67th minute. Did really, really well. The end product is obviously always debatable, but certainly what he brought with the ball was great. So Dembele will be there, I think. And then Kylian on the left-hand side, because I think the target will be Jesus Navas and Nacho, like Maka just said. And then Thuram or Koulibaly, more likely Thuram. Certainly after training tonight behind closed door, this was the idea for Deschamps. And Rabiot coming back in midfield, no Griezmann. Deschamps tried everything in this tournament for Griezmann. Different formations, different positions, wide, centrally, deeper, higher up, everything. And nothing has worked. And I think he gets to a point where Deschamps says, listen, I love you so much, Griezmann. Griezmann owes everything internationally to Deschamps pretty much, but there's a moment where it's just not working out. So I wouldn't be surprised if Griezmann starts on the bench tomorrow.
And Rabiot comes in for whom, Jules? Camavinga?
For Camavinga, probably Mago. Yeah, Maka.
Oh.
And I know this is a good debate to have, but I've had the issues before, but it's very much like a father and son kind of relationship, and he likes his solidity, the physicality, the brains that he has. And for Eduardo, he's still quite young, certainly much younger than Rabiot. And I think as well as he did against Portugal, with all that energy, as you know, because we see him every weekend on ESPN for Real Madrid, he prefers the Rabiot and how safe, maybe safer slightly Rabiot is compared to Camavinga.
You know, you've got to think, there's a reason why France have won these tournaments, World Cups and Europeans, because of the manager. You know, we've been talking all week about Southgate, maybe not dropping Kane just because he doesn't feel he can drop him. We've been talking about Roberto Martinez with Ronaldo. If there's one thing that you know, Deschamps is going to pick the team he thinks is going to win, regardless of the name on the back of the jersey. That's why they've won tournaments previously.
When it comes to Dembele, if he is on his day, nobody wants to be coming up against him, do they?
No, but unfortunately, his day it doesn't come often enough, does he, for the paying public? We know how exciting he can be. We know when he flashes a goal in the back of the net, how great that goal normally is. It's just that it's normally followed by 17 attempts over the bar or wide or frustration after frustration. We know he cuts in on his left and he's very exciting, but it's the final ball, it's the end product, and it's always been the case. It got glossed over slightly because of his big money move to Barca, and everybody presumed he was the finished article then. But he hasn't been. He wasn't at Barca. He's not at PSG, and he hasn't been for the French national team. But somebody's there to make themselves heroes. Spain are the big favourites going into this game, even though they've got a couple of people missing. So if Dembele does become the match winner, if Thuram, who's had a poor tournament, if he becomes the match winner, it's fine. They'll be strong at the back, as they have been. If Rabiot comes in alongside Kante, they'll be strong in the middle. But it's just whether they can find the goals, because Spain will dominate possession.
Yeah, we'll get to the favourites tag in a minute when it does come to...
In the moment, they're playing a 4-3-3 under Didier Deschamps, 55-year-olds. Spain led by Luis De La Fuente at 63, a former left-back, been in charge of Spain since 2022 in December. He's on a bit of a winning streak, you could say, in terms of competitive matches. And his side will be out there with a 4-2-3-1. A couple of changes, a couple of interesting ones, some players missing. Hot stat, both teams got on the score sheet in just 2 of the last 8 head-to-heads. So Spain huddle. They are in the home strip. They are the home side, and they are the top ranked in terms of form. Beaten Germany on the way here, as well as last time's champions in 2021 at Wembley. Italy just swept them aside in the group, swept aside Croatia as well, and Albania and Georgia before dispatching with the hosts. Dramatic quarter-final. Now we are here and ready. Munich Arena, we have kickoff with France going from right to left. It's all white for them. Let's see how they go. A very resolute defence up against the most scintillating attack in the tournament. World Cup champions of 2010 and Euro champions of 64, 2008 and 2012. That is Spain up against the 2-time world champions in France on 2 Euros, 1984 and 2000. World Cup champions of 2018, I should add. Losing champions of 2022, unfortunately for them, on penalties. Luis De la Fuente is playing some direct tiki-taka, you could call it, in the first minute at 0-0 in Munich. And tonight's referee, we should make mention, is Slavko Vincic. The drama about England's referee for tomorrow night. The German official Felix Weyer getting a bit of heat in the newspapers as Cucurella can't keep that ball in down the left wing. And Spain really not doing much, nor France in the opening 75 seconds as Deschamps is seated quite casually and calmly in his dugout. De La Fuente just stood there, arms folded, both coaches. It's going to be an interesting night. Spain beat France at the quarter-final stage of 2012. Also a 1-1 group stage draw back in 1996. That time, Germany actually won it. As Nacho will go through the opening team sheets. Opening half, Maignan in goal, Saliba, Upamecano, Koundé, and Hernandez. As Theo Hernandez at left back is up against Yamal right now as Spain start to get a bit of momentum down in that right wing. It's Yamal. He had his jersey ripped by Rabiot, who's playing on the left side of midfield. Inside him is Tchouameni. Also N'Golo Kante. Spain coming. Ruiz will hold it up. Lifts the ball to the back post. No one there. It will curl out from Maignan, and a goal kick for France. Kylian Mbappé leading the side with Ousmane Dembele. Right wing, Randall Kolomuani, who's preferred over Marcus Thuram. There's a few omissions here for Spain. The Carvajal, one of those. Also Lenormand and Pedri. The injury for the latter as France goes short. And from Saliba out towards the wing where Upamecano lifts it towards halfway. Kolomuani came for the header, rose the highest, wins it back. And again, Saliba of Arsenal. There's only 3 Premier League players out in the field today, amongst all the superstars. And all the leagues really well represented. Bundesliga, La Ligue 1, La Liga and Serie A also. For Spain, De La Fuente with a 4-2-3-1. Simon in goal. Laporte and Nacho chosen as the 2 centre-halves. Jesus Navas is the squad captain. He takes the place of the suspended Carvajal at right back. Cucurella at left back as they get a move on through the centre. Brought down through Morata. He's come deep to win it. It bounced nicely for Williams to toe poke it through from Morata. Never going to get there. Koundé can tidy up and down the right wing. Spain will cut it off again. And that will be smoke from Laporte, who's playing with Al Nassr. The back from Ronaldo's club side. Fabian Ruiz, Dani Olmo and Rodri through the middle of the pitch for Spain. Morata, focal point up forward. Yamal, the 16-year-olds at right wing. Nico Williams on the left side. 5 goals and 11 assists with Athletic Bilbao this domestic season. 1 goal and 1 assist for Williams. Spain settled down through Rodri out to the left. 5 minutes in, still 0-0. Neither side having an attempted goal. Bit of a chess match most people are expecting. Again, just joined us France in the away strip. It's all white for them. Out to the left, Cucurella is quite high. Receives from Williams back. He'll go into the middle for Ruiz. Try the diagonal ball into the left half space again. Williams will pick up on the scraps. Feeds it towards that left post. Yamal back to the right wing. First chance on goal is a header lifted over the top from Ruiz, who started the move and very nearly finished it. De La Fuente with the applause from the touchline. Spain so devastating. And Yamal is able to curl it just in between 2 French defenders at the left post. If you're looking at Spain, they're going from left to right. There's gorgeous ball in towards Ruiz, and he's lifted that 2 feet over the top of the left corner, and Maignan survives. Now Rabiot again through the middle. Down the left side. Milan left back. Theo Hernandez, the hero from quarterfinal penalties win over Portugal. France getting all 5 of theirs converted. Portugal just the 3. Goes down as a 1-0 win, according to most magazines, most publications, most organisations. France won't mind. Be well versed for penalties should they need them this evening. But before that, there's another 84 minutes plus extra time if needed, as Cucurella goes out still in his own half. Ball is jammed down that left touchline. Williams is there, has 2 players running in behind. Is Upamecano cleaning up as again Dani Olmo looking quite rapid. Now it's Colomboani, needs to find Mbappé to the edge of the box and the cover defence. Toe poking that out was Jesus Navas. Most people are expecting him to be carved apart by Mbappé, 25 years of age up against 38. 17 years with Sevilla, 4 more at Manchester City for Jesus Navas. And he did well, although he did keep Mbappé on side, was able to get there, good position in front of the keeper, in front of the box, puts it out for a throw. 7th minute in, about to tick over into the 8th. France deep on the right wing. The throw from Koundé, not good enough. Cucurella get it back to halfway. And Rabiot looking to just control a bit of the tempo at the moment. Can offload that for Saliba. Shifts it over to Theo Hernandez down the left. Mbappé comes. This is where it slows down. It's not exactly a low block from Spain. They are so perilous in transition. Saliba forward to Colomboani. That's chopped down from behind. The referee Slavko Vincic saw it. Colomboani still on the ground, and the apologetic Nacho Fernandez over the top, 34 years old. One of only a couple of Real Madrid players out there. 28th cap for Nacho. 14 years in the Spanish capital, taking about 45 yards back from Bruno Simon's goal. Played across field, short passing, Kante. Out to the left from Dembele. Is there a handball from Mbappe? And have a look at it. If the goal goes in, and it does indeed, from Colomboani. A gorgeous header at the right post. Mbappe didn't have to lift it too high. France with an early one. And they will go back and have a look at that lead-up play. It was a half shout there for handball from Mbappe. Probably nothing in it, but you never know. Spain don't know what they hit them in the first 10 minutes. It's France's, more importantly for them, their first goal of the tournament from general play. And they've done it against the tournament favourites. Now, is there an offside? No, definitely not, because Navas is playing on Mbappe. Now, was there a handball? Navas with that half shout. The ball across from Mbappe was pinpoint to the head of Colomboani in between 2 defenders. Just a decent leap, didn't have to get too high. It went over the top of Laporte, and Simon watches that into the net. Skidded off the forehead. That was beautifully put into the corner, and France lead in Munich. And just as they did at World Cup 2006, got through the semi-final to get to the final in Berlin. Didn't end well. They lost that one to Italy. Checking the goal is Mr. Vincic, the French in the crowd. Gee, there's some very buoyant fans. They are reveling in this. And the goal, there's nothing wrong with that one. Spain kick us off. 10th minute of play. That'll go down for Colomboani, his first in the tournament. Had 1 assist coming into this. So that is because he delivered the final pass before it went in off an opponent. Voba and Vertonghen with the own goals. There's only 3 scored for France before Colomboani's goal. The other was an Mbappe penalty. 4th goal of the tournament. So France supporters will be absolutely pumped with the way that's panned out, and it is that matchup. Mbappe on Navas, who's looked nervous in the opening 10 minutes or so. It's Koundé toe pokes that down, and Spain look to ensure that they have a bit of possession deep on the left attacking wing. Again, Laporte. Cautious approach. Rodri. Spain have got goals in them. They do quite well in the first half of their games. That's when they like to come the fastest. And Yamal has already delivered for Fabian Ruiz. A header in from right to left. Here's Olmo trying to wiggle his way through a couple. If Macano will scoop it out, brought back in by Navas. Then Ruiz across for Williams. Tried the clever back pass, and it's away by a desperate French defence. Colmawani getting the nod over Marcus Thuram. And showing Deschamps and Lebleur it is worthy of a starting position. They do get through. You'd think that he would start the final now. Yamal again up against Rabiot. Well shielded, square passing, then it's vertical out towards Cucurella from Williams, who wants to move it on with the first touch at all costs. But Cucurella doesn't like to go forward, does he? Wants to go sideways or back, where he finds his number 14, Aymeric Laporte, 30-year-old defender. Played 6 years at City, before that with Athletic Bilbao. Olmo wearing number 10. 2 goals, 2 assists in this tournament. That's as good as Fabian Ruiz, who very nearly got a third. Ball comes in again for Spain. And it's out from Mbappé. Looking for Teo Hernandez. Good opening, quarter of an hour. Not quite there at that 15-minute mark, but Spain are down. Most people expecting them to dictate terms in Munich. Carvajal and the odd man out suspended. Pedri with a knee injury. Spain up against France with a full squad at their disposal. Chipped out towards Cucurella. What will he do? It's around one. Heavy touch. And N'Golo Kante comes over, ensures it goes out for a Spain. Oh, it's a France throw. It's come off Cucurella, so look at his club form coming back in for country. Wasn't that great for Chelsea. And he watched as Colomboani tucked that home at the far post. Colomboani situated perfectly between a couple. And France are coming again. Rabiot. He was chopped down. This might be a card. And that is a yellow from Mr. Vincic. So first one of the game. Cross. It's a desperate lunge from Jesus Navas, the squad captain. He will be picked apart in the media, and we'll see if he lasts. Because De La Fuente doesn't want to go down to 10 men, that's for sure. It's a disorganized looking Spanish backline. Definitely not playing 4. It's more a right-sided one, with Navas always hanging deep, just not able to communicate. The Sevilla legends, 4 Europa League titles for him, and does have a Premier League at City 2013-14, as we have the injury for Rabiot. The medical team are out there. He also won the 2010 World Cup and the Euros 2012. Jesus Navas, 5 goals for Spain, 56th cap this evening. And for the suspended Dani Carvajal. De La Fuente hasn't really been in this position too often. They were down early against Georgia. They were able to ignite a comeback, score 4 in that game. Don't think France are going to let that many in. At this point, France looking better for the second goal than Spain getting there first. Bit of a joke between Mbappé and Fabian Ruiz, who were teammates for PSG last domestic season. Won't be in 2024-25. We'll be bringing you all the top flight action as Mbappé goes over to Real Madrid, always covering those ones. And Fabian Ruiz has had a sensational tournament. Second year with the French Giants. The home of Euro 2024 here. Flash Score Live Sport EU Network. Les Bleus are winning. They're 0-0. Colomboani's header separates these two juggernauts. Stats on the Flash Score app will tell you. The XG is 0.44 each. France had the goal. They only had 38% of possession. 2 goal attempts to 1 for them. 1 shot on target. That's the header. Fabian Ruiz is put over by a couple of feet. That's back when the score was 0-0. Now everyone's on their feet. There's Kylian Mbappé standing over this free kick about 30 yards back from Unai Simon's goal. In line, if you're looking at the goal for Simon, we'll go with his perspective. It's his left post. And Mbappé moves in disappointingly into the wall, cleaned up by Kante. Now Saliba, Rabiot will be forced to go back and does. Good press by Spain. Good pressure. Mignon will have to lift it. And he's put that 70 metres to the advantage down the right wing, and it's a ball that's simply too good for Jules Koundé. Skids away. That was rugby. That was a perfect touch finder down the right wing. Jules Koundé with Barcelona. 25 years old, 1 goal, 2 assists in 35 La Liga games last season, 2023-24. Second year there since leaving Sevilla, where he was with Jesus Navas. 3 years there in the southwest of Spain, formerly with Bordeaux. Hasn't scored for France in his career. Just one of 2 outfielders along with Saliba of Arsenal. Spain, it's a hopeful ball towards Dani Olmo, up against 2. Saliba's there, same with Rabiot, then Tchouameni. Little ball bypassing him so far. 17th minute at 1-0 for France. Mignon again in the penalty spot. Hacks it down the left wing this time, and Mbappé struggles. That'll be a Spanish throw. Mbappé, 27 goals in 29 League One games, 7 assists to boot. He'll be starting his new life at Real Madrid alongside Nacho. See if he can get some psychological advantage over his teammate in training. Not too far off, you'd expect. By the end of July, they'll be best of mates. At left back for Spain. Put inside from Fabian Ruiz across Laporte for Nacho. First time pass from Yamal. Ruiz is quite good with his distribution. It's inch perfect towards Cucurella, but his header wasn't. Williams did well temporarily. Looked like he was going to win that if it wasn't for Kante's good scramble to get back in his own penalty box and help out the number 11, which is Ousmane Dembélé. Good switch out to the left wing. Mbappé receives from Theo Hernandez. He makes the run into the half space and lets Mbappé let fly. It's off Nacho, across. It's still in play. Nacho will have to clean it and put it into the stands. Ferocious looking counter-attack there from France. It's Mbappé. He was going for the near post in that left half space. Don't think that was on target. It ricocheted across, kept in play, back for Nacho, and he pumps it out for a French throw. They've since put that back in play. And again, the chip from Kante over the head of Koundé. France starting to turn the screw. Into the 20th minute we go. Again, the ball goes out of play. It's a wet surface, a little slippery. France scoring their first goal in general play. Koulibaly's 5th for his country. Formerly with Eintracht Frankfurt. First here with PSG. It's an all PSG frontline this evening in Munich. Put back across, and Mbappé waited, and over his head. Yamal thought it was going up. Conscientious work there from Theo Hernandez, but he won't keep it in. It'll be a goal kick for Unai Simon, 27-year-old goalkeeper, 36 games for Athletic Bilbao on the Spanish Copa del Rey, 6th year with the club. Forward towards Rodri. Started off with Villarreal. Everyone knows he's done it at Manchester City, though. The stars of the English Premier League. Forward, vertical pass to find Dani Olmo. It's congested there, but Yamal works out, finds half a yard, and scores a beautiful goal to make it 1-1. 21st minute. That is breathtaking. Lamine Yamal, his first goal at the tournament. He's got 3 assists coming into this game. Goal number 3 for Spain in game number 13. And the French supporters in the crowd, hands on heads. There's nothing you can do about that. The Spanish this time. It is La Roja who sit back in awe. Mignon beaten. It was all about finding the space from 25 yards out in line with the right post. He worked away through Rabiot and then across the face of goal. Glory for Lamine Yamal, just 16 years of age. That is top corner, in off the post. 1-1 in Munich. Semi-final, you could see the French supporters standing behind Mignon. As soon as he's hit that, they put their hands on their head. They knew that was going in. And he wheels off the skid, the double knee skid, we'll call that one. Quickly back up, and Mbappé, there's a lot to live up to now. And he looked on, you could see the grimace on his face, a mark of respect in the way he reacted. Kylian Mbappé will be playing against Yamal in the forthcoming season. Real Madrid and Barcelona will be at it, and that will be live on Flash Score. 21st minute wonder goal from Lamine Yamal. Now Nico Williams. From the kickoff, Spain have got it. Yamal puts it forward. Jesus Navas looking a bit more confident this time, wins the corner of Teo Hernandez. In for the right side, it will come. Now, there's usually goals when these two countries meet. We've had 2 in this game, the opening quarter of the game. Usually don't get more than 3 or 4 maximum. We'd love that this evening. We'd love that tomorrow night as well. England, Netherlands, also live on Flash Scores. France through Mignon looking to marshal his defence here. It'll be sent in. The right foot from Williams from the right side. It's glancing header across off Olmo. Ruiz will send it back in on the left. It's way over hit. Over the top of Mignon's goal. Spain have struck back in beautiful fashion. A superb left foot curler from Lamine Yamal, who picked up the ball about 32 yards away. He's hit that from about 27 yards, you'd say. That is dipped perfectly over Mignon, the outstretched right glove. Didn't even get a touch on that one. About 4 or 5 yards off his line and flapping in the winds. Yamal again, identical position. This time unselfishly puts it towards Olmo, and again it's repelled by the head of Upamecano, and Koundé, who's there, given up by Kante. Rodri picks his pocket out towards the left corner flag, then goes backwards to Cucurella. Spain can get some forward motion through their 2 wing backs. They look like the machine that we've seen throughout the tournament, undoubtedly. Navas coming in and starting with Carvajal missing. That is a huge loss given Carvajal's form. Scored against Croatia as well. Not the tallest player, but planted a header. And Livakovic in the opening group game for Spain. Also, we saw the likes of Morata and Fabian Ruiz scoring that one. Fiori with the own goal to give Spain the win against Italy. Then Ferran Torres against Albania. Now in from the right side, it will sit for Olmo, makes room, and the angle, and Spain have the lead in a couple of minutes. France have conceded twice, and this is why Spain are the hot favourites to take this crown. They have turned this right around. 21st minute. The curler from Lamine Yamal. Now it is Dani Olmo for his 3rd goal of Euro 2024. He has ploughed that across Mignon from about 8 yards, just outside the right post, and France are reeling. Deschamps trying to rally. Just checking the lead-up play here. Now almost started this out towards Navas. A ball that ripped in. A header from Saliba. Then Olmo tapped it round Tchouaméni. And then has just driven that across off the instep. That is an excellent finish. It's gone off Koundé and in, but it was always going in. Koundé trying to cut that off after it passed Mignon. So will it go down as an own goal? I feel as though that was going in, but it might not have been. You never know the trajectory. I'm sure UEFA will work this one out. Let's see what the flash score that will tell us. It is 2-1, that's for sure. It's going down as an own goal for Jules Koundé, but it is the Olmo assist, as he's the last Spaniard to hit it from the kickoff. France coming down straight down the middle. It'll work out nicely for them. Out for a Dembélé, has support from Koundé. Out on the right wing, Dembélé trying to lift it across. It goes low, and Unai Simon will watch it go directly out of play, and Dembélé's asking for more support. Also having a word to the linesman. France, that were up by a goal to nil after 9 minutes thanks to Colin Mawani's header. That feels like it was last week now. Lamine Yamal set the tone. The 21st minute equaliser. Jules Koundé in the 25th minute. Spain have it from the goal kick. Sent well over the top of Navas's head. And Mbappé wants to take the throw urgently. He'll leave it for Theo Hernandez as they'll get a set play happening. Not looking as comfortable in the past 10 minutes. France, the stats now, the XGs, well, it doesn't really matter about that. We've had 3 goals. 0.61 up against 0.55. Spain in front there. Across it comes, and Mbappé was waiting. It's hacked away by Yamal, and that will go out of play, but in the French defensive half right side. You have to be an angry coach if you're Didier Deschamps, looking to become Euros winner as a player back in '84 and 2000, I should say, as a captain. Mbappé, sweeping ball, diagonal out to the right wing, 15 metres away into the box now. It's a low delivery in, but it's put up high by Navas. Koundé out-muscled. Free kick for France, though. It's against Alvaro Morata. He really hasn't contributed much, but he's the talisman up forward that is there just to sit in position, hold play up, and wait for Nico Williams to join him most of the time. Spain liking that left wing outlet more than the right wing. It allows Yamal to get forward, but also defend, going on the left, and Yamal down the right. But for now, they all have to ensure that Dembélé can't put this into a dangerous position. On the penalty spot, he'll be looking to get it. Everyone on the edge of the box. It's Dembélé in, and again, the ball bounces. It's Rabiot scrambling to keep it. And looks like he did. That was wonderful work. No, linesman has said it went out of play. It's disappointing from Dembélé. 3 goals, 8 assists for PSG in his first season there after leaving Barcelona after 8 years. 49th cap this evening for Dembélé. 5 goals. Dani Olmo is able to really did bamboozle Tchouaméni. Now, looks like that ball was always going in, but it did take a touch and a deviation off Koundé, so it's an own goal, technically. It's an own goal, technically. It's an own goal. Great fight back from Spain. France coming in with just 5 points from the group. They're touted as favourites to win it. Came second behind Austria, Netherlands in third. So 2 from that group, but it's not the first. It's the second and third. They'll both play in the semi-finals. The other team was Poland. So 1 win, 2 draws there. Just scoring twice, conceding once. France. So as long as you concede less, that's all that matters. Spain didn't concede at all, but they scored 5. Breathtaking football. Down it comes from Navas, 38 years old. Doesn't look like he's missing a beat in terms of pace. Dani Olmo couldn't get one over Saliba there, and Mbappé receives in his own half, wants to take on the man. There's no Navas, so Nacho has to just shepherd him. Second player comes in is Rodri. Mbappé took a tumble. Referee's saying there's nothing in it. Ruiz now slows it down, waits for his double pivot partner. Rodri, vertical pass. Back comes Olmo, starting and with big impact. The ball out towards the left for Cucurella. And again, doesn't like to send it into the middle. Just likes to hang extremely left and use the full width. Spanish football. Full of very clever tactics. Spain, interesting stat coming in. Won 13 consecutive competitive games since March 2013. And now here's Nico Williams. Looking for the spot to shoot from. It's Morata. Couldn't quite work the ball out from in between his feet. Nor could Williams. He dribbled through to Mignon. So at this point, it's Spain into the final. What can France do playing in their away white strip? It's Spain definitely dictating terms now. It's all France in the opening quarter of an hour, though. And the tables have turned. The two nations that are used to winning and lifting trophies. Dazzling performance from both nations this century. France kicking it off in the year 2000 with the Euros win, beating Del Piero's and Totti's Italy, Maldini, Nesta, and Navarro. Francesco Totti playing in goal. There was no Buffon, he was out injured. It's France with a beautiful looking forward line. They had De Wiltor equalise, Zidane behind him. He was pulling the strings next to Deschamps. So Wiltor with the equaliser, Trezeguet with a golden goal. I remember back then. Scored that and won the trophy in extra time, back when you could just score the goal and not have to play out the entire 30 minutes. That was on the back of the World Cup win, just like Spain did in 2012 when they won this, beating Italy in the final again. And they came off the 2010 win in South Africa at the World Cup. Switch play over towards Navas, still in their own half though. Nacho, plenty of space to make his mind up. No one pressing. There's Kante and Colomboani in front of him. Out to the right they go. It's tight spaces. Navas will go directly behind, back to Nacho. Spain not happy with what they see. They're still in their own defensive third. Back to the keeper. Glittering performance so far. As I was saying, that's 17 games. In the last 17, they've lost just once, and that was a friendly against Colombia. Spain, they've won 15 of those, but 13 of those, again, were competitive wins. A couple of those were friendlies. Good form starting after the 2-0 away loss to Scotland. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got Netherlands and England for you. The home of Euro 2024, the audio broadcast. Sync us up wherever you are around the planet. Thanks for joining. It is Spain 2, France 1. 34th minute of play. France with it down the right side. And again, it's an overhit pass off the hip of Teo Hernandez. It's going to be a throw for Spain. Yamal with the goal of the game. All three goals taken in world-class fashion. Cool finish from Colomboani for the header for France to take the leads. Then it was just something outrageous. An epic finish from Lamine Yamal for his first goal in a major tournament. He played one full season for Barcelona. The 5 goals, 5 assists in La Liga. 3 goals now tonight. And he's down on the ground. He's not looking too good here, Lamine Yamal. It's Teo Hernandez that has chopped into it. Just into the back of his thigh. To the back of the calf muscle as well. Teo Hernandez knowing full well what he's doing and forcing the contact. We've had one yellow card in this match, but it's been for Jesus Navas. De La Fuente having a chat with the fourth official. Hernandez getting off without receiving one. And just going back to the starting 11s. Jan Saliba, Upamecano, Koundé, Teo Hernandez, Tchouaméni, Rabiot, Kante, Dembélé, Colomboani and Kylian Mbappé. That's France, Le Bleu. La Roja in Spain. who are leading by 2-1. Simon in goal, Laporte, Nacho, Jesus Navas and Cucurella. There's the Mal, looks for Ruiz. Well, his shot from outside the box takes a deflection to the left of goal, and Mignon was rooted to the spot looking to see if that was going to divert past him into the top corner. It's about 1.5 meters wide, but it definitely came off a French defender. Rodri and Fabien Ruiz, the two pivots named. Olmo behind Morata with Yamal right wing, Nico Williams left wing. Just about 9 minutes until the half-time break, but Spain with a chance to get a third goal here. Corner in from the left. The third goal could be fatal for France. As referee Vincic comes across and has a chat with Colin Mawani standing on the post. Morata near him. Nico Williams will deliver an in-swinger here. Straight to that near post. Colin Mawani was able to judge it the best. Mbappé can't get the loose pass. Ford, Ruiz. Let's skip off the side of his boot, but Cucurella will work it out. It'll fall towards Yamal. Dinks one in towards the right post. Nobody there for Spain. Hernandez wanted to roll that and does. It'll be a French goal kick. The stats on the flash score at 58% of the ball with Spain. 4 goal attempts to 3 for them. 1 shot each on goal. 2 corner kicks to 1. So they've gone short eventually. Theo Hernandez will go down the line for Rabiot. AC Milan to Juventus to PSG. Mbappé was some contact. He got up ever so quickly, fires it out towards Dembélé. Magical pass. Dembélé looking to use his feet quickly. They're going to corner on the right side of Cucurella. The Spanish defence holding firm. But what a delivery that was from Mbappé. He was brought down but got up so quickly. He had no one around him because Spanish defenders hit into him and immediately retreated anyway. Got up and with one step he fired it out to Dembélé, who's won the corner and will deliver it. Saliba trying to get away from Rodri. Put into the middle, and it is Laporte who wins the header. Picked up by Kante. Again Dembélé. Well done. It's been closed down, but the ball will come in from deep from an angle, a diagonal from Koundé. Again, it's Spain. They can head it out from danger. Dembélé up against Cucurella. Wants to go in on the angle. Linesman flags. He heard the scream from Dembélé. Now there might be a card here for Cucurella. And Dembélé trying to go between Morata and Cucurella. Contact definitely came from the Chelsea defender, not the former Chelsea striker. Also played with Real Madrid and Juventus. Rumored to be leaving Atletico Madrid, Alvaro Morata. There's 36 goals for Spain. Cap number 79 here. So another set piece for France. About, let's see, about 12 in from the right touchline, about 30 back, maybe 25 back from the byline. This time it's a much better delivery, and it had to be dealt with, and was, by Jesus Navas. He's grown into the game, Navas. And most of the pundits, most of the experts were worried that he would be just cut in half by Kylian Mbappé. And he was in those opening 10 minutes or so. Since then he's found his feet. France coming short. Good ball by Theo Hernandez in from the left. Put back by Saliba, and Ruiz couldn't get the touch down the wing for Williams, who eventually chests. That is brilliant from Nico Williams. And here he comes, the Bilbao man. Has support from Morata, but has to switch play. Yamal will come up towards Hernandez. Tries another shot. It's off the French defender and out for a corner. He's claiming that when Yamal kicked towards goal, he followed through and took the shin. The first time I've seen Theo Hernandez down on the ground, writhing around in pain, whether he's been hit or not. There was a bit of follow through there from Yamal. I think it was more Hernandez's fault for walking into him more than Yamal kicking into him. 41st minute, Spain by 2-1 over France, who were winning in the 11th minute with a Colomboani header. Now they defend again. This is well done by Mignon. Picks it out of the air with two hands. Was out of his box by the time he's punted that forward. Down the right wing, Cucurella wins the header, so does Koundé. It's found Kante. Still hugging the touchline. Now to go back to Tchouaméni. And most of France's play has been down one wing or the other. Haven't seen too much down the corridor. Spain guarding that area well. Have been broken down once though. Had to be an Mbappé assist. It was millimetre perfect for Colomboani to steer home at the right post. Good ball from Mbappé, about 20 yards. Aerial delivery. Now Koundé tries one. Navas improvises. A little bit of a clever karate clearance. Yamal up against Hernandez. Making Hernandez look like somewhat of an uncle. 26 years of age. Yamal's 10 years younger than him. Incredible. Spain coming to a stop in the attacking half. Having a look at the benches. As half-time looms, 3 minutes away. What can France do to turn this around? It's Camavinga, an outstanding game against Portugal. Do something in midfield. Giroud, of course, the all-time goal scorer, is on the bench. Didn't get to come on and take a penalty. Deschamps leaving a little too late. So 57 goals, he is France's best ever goal scorer. Now to the left wing for Hernandez. 22 yards back from the corner flag. He's chipped that up high into the air. Cross came Morata. It was off Morata's arm, I believe. Does have the captain's armband, but we all know Jesus Navas is the squad captain. Now will be given handball out in the left wing. So Hernandez won't deliver. It'll be Dembélé again in the side for his searing pace and also for his set piece taken. Told to march it back a couple of feet. It's two in from the left touchline, about 25 back from the byline. Can France level it at 2-2? Tremendous delivery in towards Rabiot. Spain had the numbers. It's away by Ruiz. Koundé. Kante plays for Al Ittihad. 3 games there, 2 goals, 5 assists. Spent 7 years with Chelsea, age 33 now. His first year in the Saudi Pro League, 2 goals for his country. And Dembélé, standing start. Coming through Fabian Ruiz. Stands his ground. Saliba. Rabiot coming as close as he can to goal. Chips it into the middle. And again, it's a great header out from danger. Then Ruiz, not the fastest player. Chips it out towards Olmo. Then Williams, Spanish throw. They can get out of their danger area. They want to get through to the break at 2-1. 40 seconds to go of the 45 minutes. A decisive goal very well might be of Jules Koundé as Dani Olmo was able to get the ball around Tchouaméni, find space in from the right side. It was ruthless from Dani Olmo, the RB Leipzig man. 4 goals there and 5 assists last season. Now he's got 10 goals with Spain. Unfortunately, not ruled as his 11th, this one. Ticking down towards the end of the 45. We've got 2 minutes of stoppages. Tchouaméni jogging across the pitch towards Koundé. Good set up from Spain. Dembélé just almost about to get around Cucurella before he's barged him over. Linesman saw it. Spain free kick. It's unnecessary from Dembele, but he's trying to fight hard. That's the problem when you play a 4-3-3. You can get isolated out there and get frustrated. And you can't beat your man. 1v1, Dembele. It's dangerous from Unai Simon. Just skidding over the head of Mbappé. Knee him up. Decent ball forward towards Dani Olmo. Into his back, into his buttocks. As he holds one or the other. Saliba might be lucky to get away with this one. Not too much in it for the French number 17, 6th appearance in this competition for him. 21st overall at international level. days like this, they will be through to another tournament final. Spain get us going from right to left in the second half, back from Laporte to Unai Simon. We're going to have a look at the starting 11s and see if there are any changes. Didier Deschamps in France and Kylian Mbappé and the rest of them, they'll have to take the fight to La Roja, who just given away a clumsy ball in their own defensive third. I think Nacho has done well enough. That was outrageously good from the Real Madrid defender to make sure that went out for a throw, not a goal kick. It was a back pass. He skidded away from him, but he recovered. Now Spain, that was slick passing across through the middle. Fabian Ruiz, first time ball. It's Nico Williams, a run around the keeper, surely. Mignon's off his line. It'll work out nicely for him. That may have been calamitous for him, but he has gotten there to take away the ball from Nico Williams. Jules Koundé was also there. He was outpaced. Mignon realised that Koundé would be outpaced, made the decision. He has to take responsibility, and did. He's only just got there to block that ball because Nico Williams was around him otherwise. But he slid in, had to be lucky to not catch the legs of Williams. Didn't. Had the ball pumped it forward. It'll work out quite well for France. Down the right wing, they have it into the attacking third with Dembélé back in for Kante. Around Rodri. Colomouani. Now Koundé. Dembélé. Good ball. Took a touch off Cucurella. Well, that's Unai Simon. That gets his body over the ball. Let's take a look at the confirmed lineups. There are no changes at half-time. So Spain happy enough. 3rd minute of the second half. They trail by 2-1. They trying to stack on the pressure at the moment. They're expecting Spain to play their normal game. And what will decide this semi-final? Can France find a way to bring Mbappé into the game a little more? Over the all-white. Started off with a 4-3-3. Mignon in goal, as he would have heard me screaming out his name a couple of times since the beginning of the second half. If you've just joined us, long ball from Spain, picked up by Mignon. He'll roll that out towards Saliba. He's playing next to Meccano. Jules Koundé right back. Theo Hernandez at left. Rabiot, Tchouaméni, and N'Golo Kante across the middle. Dembélé, Colomouani, and Kylian Mbappé, who is the captain, and plays on the left side of attack. Spain defending right now, but France have the ball in their own half. Rabiot's onto it. Goes down the left touchline. Can't keep it in. Or can it? Don't think so. And Spain with Unai Simon in goal. Aymeric Laporte and Nacho, the two centre-halves. Jesus Navas at right back, coming in for Dani Carvajal. Marc Cucurella at left back. Fabian Ruiz and Rodri, the two pivots. Dani Olmo in front of them with Nico Williams left. Lamine Yamal on the right. He'll get the ball now and lift it in towards Morata. Good header up and away by Koundé. Williams retrieves. Cucurella always goes behind, doesn't it? The keeper's well off his line. Out for Laporte. 5th appearance of the tournament for him. Nico Williams has started every game for Spain except for the full rotation game against Albania. 10 changes in that one for De La Fuente. Everything going to plan. It's a tough path through to the final, apart from Georgia, of course. They're always favourite to win that. And Germany, a tough ask to beat the host nation, especially in that kind of form. Cucurella across the middle from the left. This time he put it in towards Morata, but it was outstanding defending from William Saliba. And under the legs of Koundé. Saliba getting his right boot there, taking it away from Morata. Throw for Cucurella. 50th minute of the game. Lobs it in towards Dani Olmo. Back for the left back. And off Nico Williams. Couldn't ride the challenge of Koundé. It'll be a Spanish ball nonetheless. About 8 yards back from the left corner flag. Make that 10. Cucurella walks it back. Not much motion in front of him. Back for Laporte on the halfway line. Now it's Nacho. Ruiz jinking around the square. He goes Nacho for Laporte, who makes a good run. 20 yards away. And diagonal ball for Williams. Out to the byline. Left side. This time Koundé wins it. Magnificent defending. And the Barca right back. Laporte, of course, born in France. Making sure that right to Mbappé can't score for France. Now Kanté, return of pace. It's going to be outmanned. 3 Spaniards are back there. Rodri's one of them. Cucurella and Ruiz, but it'll be a French throw. On the right touchline, attacking half, about 20 yards in. There's 2 balls on the pitch. They'll allow that to play on. 4th official kicked it off as well. So France switching play. Out to the left they work. Now out that side. Good ball towards Rabiot. Out to the left wing. Now Mbappe's there. Trying to turn around his man. Which is Yamal. To the left. To the right. Brought down by Dembélé. Cucurella, keepers there, gathers. Sharp turn by Dembélé, trying to just catch Cucurella out. He's not the sharpest defender. But definitely a sharp turn in delivery. Rabiot, the only Frenchman lurking with a bit of intent at the left post. And now he's doing well to win this ball. A high offensive turnover. Takes it off Nico Williams. Back out towards Koundé. Needs to put it across. Goes low. Put away by Nico Williams, who scrambled back. So again, both sides with the ability to really pile on pressure, scramble, and get the ball into dangerous situations. But France are going low from the right side in. They get into that right half space. So I guess the plan is to find Colin Mawani or someone running in. Too lateral, that ball needs to be cut back. Someone on the angle. The header comes from the corner. Up goes Tchouaméni. Hunts his header into the ground. It bounces once for Unai Simon, and Spain survived this one. It will go down as a shot on target, that's for sure. Good vertical leap by Tchouaméni over the back of what do they call that? His number 8 for Spain. Fabian Ruiz. Oh, that was Laporte. Wriggled through too. Cucurella, bit of room to move. Gets 20 yards away, then goes inbounds. No one coming to it. They think he's dangerous enough. Doesn't have a right foot on him by the look of it either. Here's Navas. Trying to steal some ground and territory. Taken away by Rabiot. Tries the 360 pirouette turn. Brought down, wins a free kick. And Kanté bring it up from the middle, just from the defensive third of France, across for Koundé. And Dembélé coming deep. Back for Tchouaméni. And the run of Colin Mawani, ignored it. Chip it out, Tchouaméni to Dembélé. They've got the formation. There's a lot of room between Colin Mawani and Dembélé, who tried to locate him, went about 5 meters behind him. France will recover. Second half, it's 50-50 in terms of possession. The first half, a little more for Spain, not much, just 6%. Here comes Koundé, decent ball, header away from Nacho. And now, shot at the shoulder. That's with Teo Hernandez, who doesn't want to be embarrassed this evening. Spain, apparently, according to De La Fuente, their coach, fortune's turning around. The team bonded after the team managers forgot to bring players' boots to a training camp, so they had to train in sandals one night, and it brought the team together apparently. This couldn't go studs in with the sandals at training. Ball forward, Spain can't get out. Taken by So Meccano plays with Bayern Munich. This is football in the German Bundesliga. We brought you a lot of those games, especially towards the end of the season with Bayern Munich with Harry Kane. He'll be in action tomorrow evening. We'll bring you that one live on Flash Score, the home of Euro 2024 audio broadcasts, and also top flight football in general and Copa America. Colomboani, 25 yards away, back to goal. Outmanned, and Fabian Ruiz again. Delightful ball forward. Nico Williams nearly getting around Koundé. Just found Mignon. Meccano will restart. Strides forward, carries the ball. So does Rabiot. Space for Mbappé into the far left corner. Up against Navas. Mbappé, the assist for the first goal. Goes for the shot this time. And it is straight at the keeper. An acute angle. So about 30 degrees, the angle. Try one on the right boot, in from the left half space. In two minds about what to do there. Kylian, 7 years with PSG, 48 goals for his country. Spent a couple of years at Monaco, that's where he was discovered, such a young age. And he will make the first change. Might very well be Spain, with Jesus Navas on a yellow. And the 57 minutes in. Will be Jesus Navas will be playing for, keeping Mbappé on side, who delivered for Colomboani for that goal. And the 38-year-old's, the veteran, comes off. Now, will he feature in the final? Vivian takes his place. There's the number 5. He's in for Cap. Number 4, the Athletic Bilbao defender, Daniel Vivian. Never scored, 25 years of age. And interestingly, just his second appearance. In this tournament, 4th overall for Spain. So one of the fringe defenders, and someone's out on the pitch. So are the security guards and the marshals. The cameras pan away. That's for sure if you're watching TV. Might give Deschamps an extra minute just to think about things. Might be a French streaker, who knows? Just trying to reset the tone. Spain got full turnover against Albania. In that game, Vivian did start beside Laporte. All those changes. Navas also started in that game. Ronaldo, Correa, Nico Marino, the hero from quarter-final. That header, a stunning header. We're back underway. Nico Williams on the left wing. Makes the give and go. Correa instead goes back. Laporte across for Nacho. Rodri just playing a more balanced role. I haven't seen him have too much space. In fact, aside from Yamal, there hasn't been too much play down that middle area of the pitch. And now finding space enough at the right wing and finding enough room to shoot beyond Rabiot into that far left corner. What a sight to see as Nico Williams goes through the legs of Koundé, who recovered. And he dribbles, and he's going to be outdone by Cucurella and Rodri. Still Spain in the attacking half, but only just with Laporte. Short one for Cucurella. Spain give it away. France can break down the right wing. It's Kanté, wins it up high for Dembélé. He's got the pace around Rodri. And Simon got a fist to that, and somehow it stays out. France didn't have anyone there at the right post to tap it home. Free kick going. It's against Tchouaméni on Morata. So a battle of the two players from the Spanish capital. Atletico versus Real there. And it was Tchouaméni with both feet rattling around the right leg of Morata. Yellow card also for Aurelien Tchouameni. And there's Chua. 3 goals for Real Madrid in La Liga last season, 1 assist. Second year there after leaving Monaco. Another French superstar to come through the Mediterranean seaside town. Launched forward by Spain. Koundé comes. Good header away. Back towards Mignon. He gathers. Looks like France are going to make some changes. 61st minute of the game. It's a cross towards Upamecano. Looks like Camavinga is one of those changes. Maybe Marcus Thuram the other. Tchouameni on a yellow. Is he going to come out of the game for Camavinga, his Real Madrid teammate? Kante. Central run. Rabiot. Go to the left side. And Mbappe's there for Theo Hernandez. This is much better from France. And they win a corner on the left side. Kante. Get the last touch. Theo Hernandez went low. Kante was there. It's come off Vivian. So Barcola is one of the French substitutes coming into the game. Rabiot will go out. So Camavinga possibly in for him. Kante, another player. It's had a fine game. Moani, the goal scorer for 1-0, will come off. So is this a case where Mbappé goes central with time running out? Barcola wearing the number 25, Griezmann the number 7, Camavinga the number 6. To come off the bench, Antoine Griezmann. 62nd minute, triple change for Didier Deschamps. Now they'll have the corner in from the left. Good looking ball in. The header's there for Upamecano. Goes straight into the turf and away. It was wide by about a metre. It has to go down as a half chance. It was a wonderful ball in from Dembele. Nacho caught out there, just trying to put off Upamecano, his opposite number, with a little shove at the same time. Griezmann coming in at 33 years of age. Long ball from Spain, taken away by Saliba. He's being pressured by Morata. Back from Mignon. Now the forward pressure comes. Nico Williams intercepted the pass from Upamecano. Now he chips it back from Mignon, who goes for the Hail Mary into the stands. Had no choice. Against Morata, the two Atletico teammates. He'll come out on top here. 16 goals and 6 assists for Griezmann last season. It's his 6th appearance at this tournament. There's another goal or an assist in this. And Laporte, Fabian Ruiz. Down the left side, it's Griezmann just tracking it. He'll come out on top here until he gives it away for Cucurella. Central ball, Lacho, that was nice to watch. Dani Olmo pulls away from one, in between two, squares it. Morata out for Nico Williams. Rodri. Halfway, it's Laporte. Have to be so quick as Camavinga. He's a full tank of petrol. He was breathing down the neck of Fabian Ruiz. Morata's come deep. So Dani Olmo into the false 9 position for now. Spain still finding a way through some tight angles, but very accurate passing, including that from Olmo, was plowed into by Tchouameni. Has to be careful. The Real Madrid midfielder, he's on the yellow, is Mbappé. Lovely takedown just outside the box. Then he backheels that into the left half space. A forward run by Teo Hernandez has overhit it. And it's out for a goal kick for Unai Simon. 36 apps in the Liga for Athletic Bilbao. It was much better from France. 25 minutes to go in the 90. Just need to manufacture something. It's so tough against the Spanish outfit who are so well-oiled, so full of confidence and verve, and the way that they can reclaim and exalt themselves back into the winning position. So Barcola in for Colomouani. That's another PSG player. 4 goals, 7 assists this season after leaving Lyon. In this tournament, he's in for that's appearance number 3. No goals, no assists, and overall in his career, looking at his stats, it's appearance number 5, age 21. Meccano takes it away from Lamine Yamal. They're trying to pin them down again. The France have the numbers at left back. Camavinga goes into the middle. It's Griezmann, finds the space. That's nice to open up the pitch. Koundé forward, but Spain can get back with numbers. Dembélé, it's the 1-2 with Mbappé. And 2 magicians trying to work things through, but they were converged upon by about 4 or 5 Spaniards. Camavinga, another player in. And for Kante, 21st appearance for France, has 1 goal. Spain just with 1 change in the 58th minute for Jesus Navas. Daniel Vivian coming in. Camavinga, 31 games in La Liga for Real Madrid, 2 assists there, and for appearance number 4 in this tournament. So 2 changes in midfield. Griezmann and Camavinga to provide a bit of bounce there. Barcola in for Colomouani. But let's see, Mbappé looks to be standing quite centrally. Griezmann behind him in that number 10 role. It's a lovely ball out in the middle of the pitch for Spain. Just to soak up a bit of pressure and take the ball away from France, stifle what they're doing. Good initiative shown here from Deschamps. Again, it's 2-on-2 down that right wing, and Teo Hernandez this time the big winner as Yamal slipped over. Camavinga still right up against the touchline. It's Barcola out there, up against 2. Rodri's one of them. Dani Olmo getting back. Diagonal pass. Chouameni puts it out towards Koundé. And Dembélé. Territory where Yamal scored from. He's run into his Spaniard there. It's Alvaro Morata by the time you see who it is after rolling around on the ground, holding his legs. Dembélé didn't mean anything from it, holding both arms up, just slipping over. It is slippery, it must be said. In the background, Olivier Giroud. When he kid up, France's all-time top scorer. With the shot turned to him. He's going to leave Serie A, leave Europe, in fact. He's going to go and play in the MLS. US listeners, thank you for joining us on Flash Score. The goal from Dani Olmo effectively separating the 2 sides. Spain 2, France 1, 70th minute. De la Fuente now pointing to his bench. Looks like he's playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You know, there's more to it when you're going to select the substitutes, but still, it appeared that way as Cucurella the long rocks for Williams, who's got his tied up in a man bun. Back for Cucurella, in from the left, and that will stay in play. And Koundé can smash it high. Nobody back there except for Laporte. Just Slow build up from Spain. France in no rush to get there and close down Fabian Ruiz. Now that's the trigger pass back. 4 French players went up at the same time, so there is a system to what they're doing. As Barcola wins it down the left wing, he's got 3 to beat, gets around the first and brings space to the byline. It's back into the middle, but Fabian Ruiz is on the penalty spot. Oh, nearly given. It's so dangerous from Ruiz. And again, Spain with numbers. Otherwise, didn't have help. Gave that away on the penalty spot for Dembele. Stuck his foot out and intercepted his run. 71st minute now. Free kick for Spain. That's against Upamecano, and Morata is the target of a few of these attacks. One a little softer than the rest. And Deschamps holding both arms out. He wants to become a Euro-winning player and coach. The World Cup winner took over France, the senior side, in 2012. Before that, he coached Juventus and Marseille and Monaco. He was a defensive midfielder by trade. Also played with Chelsea and Marseille and Juventus. So coached a couple of the same clubs he played at. Won that World Cup in 2018 and also the UEFA Nations League in 2021. Spain won that in 2023 under De La Fuente. No major tournaments for the former Athletic Bilbao man. As Barcola again persevering down the left. Spain with the tilts. So France urgently looking for space. Less than 20 minutes to go until stoppages. 48 goal. That was back against in the second round against Belgium. So they haven't had it easy either, playing Belgium and Portugal. Belgium not exactly one of the favourites, but Portugal definitely. Along with France and Spain. And England, on paper, look like the outright favourites, but Spain have taken that narrative. Mbappé ships it back for Koundé, everyone defending for Spain. France going from left to right, and Mbappé trying to weave his way through. Cucurella and Laporte will work it out and hack it high. Nobody for Spain forward except for Dani Olmo, the furthest man. Even Morata's playing in the defensive midfield roles. Dembele will win a corner. Exceptional work from him. Smart play. The French crowd, they were celebrating quite early in this game for the first 20 minutes. You can see them saying Allez la Bleu. What can Dembele do here? In from the right side, he'll swing it away from Simon. Number 11 puts it high. Went towards Upamecano, and now Spain can break. They don't have an overload. Looking for the intelligent pass, and the football IQ works out. Morata now on the left wing, squares it. Dani Olmo arrives. Same with the cavalry, Fabian Ruiz. Good triangular passing. Rodri. Now there's a 2-on-1. Theo Hernandez just holds his position. Lamine Yamal had a job. Williams with it. Spain with that right side tilt, perhaps it's a ploy from De La Fuente. And again, it opens up that pitch. Cucurella, Fabian Ruiz. And will he be in the team of the tournament? I have to say, of the two Spanish midfielders, he's been the better. Rodri, Olmo, across the middle. Is there space and a gap between the lines? Olmo back on it. Rodri is happy to hold possession without really doing too much except keeping the ball away from France. And finally a vertical pass will release Rodri for Cucurella. We know what he's going to do. Runs it back 20 metres from the goal. Squares it for Dani Olmo, and again it's Spain just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Another final. Winners of 2012. Quarter of an hour away. Thank you for joining us on Flash Score. These two sides, La Roja and Le Bleu, which are translation, red and the blues. Head up towards Minya from Upamecano. go again, looking for space down the left wing into the attacking half. Now France, that was well done. Mateo Hernandez, he's stayed up high. Barcola puts it back for Griezmann. Can he lift it into the middle? Indeed he does. Back post, it's good. It's dangerous, but Spain have the numbers. Camavinga arrives. The shot will come in from Theo Hernandez on his right boot. He's a left footer, and it showed on that occasion. But he had a lot of time. Opportunity not. The door is closed for France at this point. That was a delightful play in from the left wing. Well done by Dembélé to get it back, and he's been important for France. Camavinga, as tenacious as can be, slid in, put it towards Theo Hernandez, who, instead of collecting the ball and taking a touch, hit it first time on the right, well over the top of goal, always rising. These two countries competitively, not talking about friendlies, actually we'll get to that in a minute. Morata and Olmo coming off. So two players, central players, being changed. Ngazabal and Mikel Merino. So the quarter-final hero is in. Ngazabal did score previously against France. That was in 2021. UEFA Nations League in October that year. Spain actually lost that game to France. Benzema and Mbappé scored, but Oyarzabal put Spain into the lead. And if we reverse those numbers, that's what we have this evening. Oh, that's a poor kick out from Unai Simon, straight to the head of Dembélé, who couldn't react in time to find Mbappé, who was free as a bird in front of goal on the edge of the box. It's gone off Dembélé's forehead and out directly for a goal kick. Fortune favours the brave, I guess. Both teams looking fairly courageous this evening, but Spain with that 4 minutes of world-class play from Dani Olmo and Lamine Yamal has taken back the lead. A full turnaround from them, finding themselves down by a goal to nil as the same thing happened against Georgia. Scored 4 that time. France commit more men forward. Spain might be able to get them on the counter. Hasn't been a game of counter-attacking at all. This has methodical play, and this is France again. Good system in from Theo Hernandez, who just missed a shot. Finds Mbappé. He's been closed down for most of the evening, apart from when he supplied the cross for Colomouani's goal. So Vivian tries to chip it down the line. It's going to be a Spanish ball, I think. 79th minute now. Another change. It is Giroud coming in. So a change with Dembélé going off. Giroud, is he going to be the man to change France's fortunes? You'd think it's his last international tournament as well. He must have begged Didier for a run. Didn't get on against Portugal. Wanted to take a penalty. Didn't bring him on in time. Didn't need him in the end. He's an expert penalty taker. So if we can get it back to 2-2 and get that far. Otherwise, this game's got another 11 minutes, 15 seconds and stoppages. That is the 4th change for this shot. De La Fuente still has 2. So Dembélé out for Olivier Giroud, their all-time leading goal scorer in French colours. Age 37, just finished another season. He's 3rd in a row with AC Milan, 15 goals, 8 assists. In this tournament, it is going to be his 4th appearance. Just signing now for Los Angeles FC, and Barcola wins it down that left flank. France are doing stuff here. Spain have to be good in defence. Barcola wins a corner. That's come off Nacho this time. So it is a case where Vivian is at right back. Nacho just to the central part of the field from Vivian, then Laporte, then Cucurella. Rodri Ruiz still out there. Merino Yazabal, Yamal and Williams have to defend. Ball from the left, it curls away from the keeper. It'll be retrieved by Camavinga. So it's Mignon, Saliba, Upamecano, Kunde and Hernandez. No change to the back five there. Ball in from Hernandez. Took a touch. Spain cautiously coming forward. They don't have numbers, so they wait for experience of Oyarzabal. Rodri. Ball going to and from him. Professional performance by Spain. They know that France are no easy beats. Don't want to let them back into this game with an equaliser. Laporte, Ruiz, Cucurella. Sensible ball back in for Rodri. Spain wanting the French players to run and try and get the ball off them. Then Rodri opens it up. Marino out to the right wing, 20 yards away. And from Yamal, wants to shoot and will, and narrowly puts that over the top, and he knows it wasn't far away in the 81st minute. Scored 60 minutes ago in game time from an identical position, looking for that top corner again. And this time about a foot over the bar. This one with more power on it. Just pressured a little more than when he was being marked by Rabiot. I don't want to say that's a let off for France. The ball put to the advantage of Giroud. And was he offside? The Spanish two centre-halves there. Complaining the linesman didn't see it. So Mikel Merino, midfielder from Real Sociedad, in for cap number 27. Scored the winner. And that was against Germany in the quarter-final. Another long ball down the middle towards Griezmann. Can't collect it. Keeper comes, linesman's flag. This time we see it. And a few seconds bite the dust for France. Consecutive World Cup finalists. This was Giroud with Laporte running into him and then diving to the ground. Was there a little scab there? Referee Vincic asked for the medical team to bring the stretcher out, I think. So what is the viable option here as we look to the benches? And I have to say, there's not much there. Carvajal missing. Also Lenormand, so Vivian getting his chance this evening. Laporte, you don't want to lose him, otherwise someone like Rodri would have to go into that back line, or Cucurella might have to go into the middle, or Vivian. Could bring on someone like Grimaldo then. Still, we wait to see what happens. Player down is Laporte. He's got two of the medical staff just hovering over him. They're bandaging him up. They did look as though there was a scab, a little bit of blood. And Giroud is a pillar, he's a column of a man. He's huge. So the winner to take on either Netherlands or England. That will be a semi-final tomorrow night. Henry Deacon, the commentator for you. Same time, same platform. Now Laporte getting up, the Al-Nassr defender, 6 years with Manchester City, before that with Athletic Bilbao. He's going to hobble over to the touchline, so Spain may be down to 10 men for a while. It might be his nose that he's hit into the back of Giroud, so it looks legitimate. Still very slow to leave the ground. Aymeric Laporte, French-born. 34th cap. Over to the halfway line and off the pitch. Spain down to 10 for now. They send it long into that top right corner. It's going to dribble over for a French goal kick. So intelligent from the keeper to send it there and just see if he can give Spain the advantage to set up. France looking for a way out from the back. They go towards Barcola. He's gone through the legs. There's a 2-on-2 here. Cucurella scrambling back, but it's Mbappé. Opens up space and slams it over the top of goal. But he was lightning quick this time. It was electrifying pace from the French captain. Got it back onto his right foot, in from the left half space. And he made... who is that running with him? It was Vivian. So that is the finishing of a player under pressure, with the dribbling of a master. And the French fans haven't given up. Less than about 4 minutes until the 90s. Should have at least 6 or 7 minutes given Laporte's injury to add on here. So still some hope for the Blue supporters that have joined us. They do have their all-time leading goal scorer, Olivier Giroud, with 57 goals. Incidentally, for pub quiz people, David Villa with 59 for Spain. Morata, he's been subbed off as 36. But Mbappé should be able to beat Giroud, you'd think, given his age. He's still got at least another 10 or 12 years in him. At this level, might be able to double Giroud. Just never know. As now the scramble back in the middle of the pitch is Oyarzabal. He's going to be penalised. He's like he was getting hands in the back from Saliba, then he's collided with Camavinga. Mignon, his pass across to left back. Saliba's there, now Upamecano. Formation is a 4-3-3, it's a heavy pass past Koundé. Deschamps needs a bit more from his soldiers out there. World Cup finalists 2022, World Cup winners 2018. Last won this tournament in year 2000. And they beat Italy, same with Spain in 2012, same victims. Italy the reigning champions, but we'll have that title for 3 or 4 more days, maybe 5 or 6. The final will be bringing you on Sunday. I'll take you through that one. At this point it's Spain. Or will it be against England? Will Netherlands do something? Bring back a little bit of that Ronald Koeman spirit of the 90s. Decent ball in. Upamecano went for the cross. Very deep right wing. Now Rodri needed to send it long. Instead goes short. Playing the percentages, Spain haven't created too much. Fabian Ruiz in the back for Laporte, he looks okay. Cucurella again down the left wing, and Cucurella goes to ground. He's saying he took a forearm there from Camavinga, gets a yellow card. Everyone on the Spanish bench in the dugout were immediately on their feet. About to creep into the 90th minute. France in desperate need of a goal. It's the late challenge there. No malice in that from Camavinga, just trying to shut down the passing lane. Camavinga onto a yellow now. So the second of the game, along with his Real Madrid teammate Tchouaméni. Both of them are still out there as Spain through Williams. Chips it. It's well done in defence. Spain will nick it back from Rodri. Where's the captain's armband now? Marino, 30 yards away, sends it over to the left. Oyarzabal. Now Cucurella, his ball in, chopped off by Koundé. Corner Spain. 30 seconds to go until the end of the 90. The red and yellow behind that goal. Somehow they've appropriately put the teams attacking the ends where their fans are located for the second half. But in saying that, both teams scored in front of the opposing fans in the first half. No goals in the second half, sent in by Williams. The edge of the box is Ruiz. France can counter-attack here. Careful pass forward. Griezmann finds Theo Hernandez. They'll have to drag him down. Yamal went into him, and then so did Laporte. And it's going to be the foul against Lamine Yamal, not the collision with Laporte. It was Yamal. It was premeditated. It's a rugby tackle from behind, and then Hernandez slamming into Laporte. So free kick, France. 5 minutes of stoppages. Griezmann will take this. He's about 40 yards back from the goal. Slight angle out to the right side, hanging out there. Now we'll just have to slice it in, and does it. Meccano wanted to send it across the face of goal. Instead, I think he's connected with the face of his opponent. And again, Spanish player down. Referee standing over him. A huddle of 3 or 4 Roja players. Now Mbappé wants to investigate. It was Meccano into Merino. Little elbow, you could say. It was because both players were knocked off balance. Merino's back up. Referee insists to get a move on. 2 more changes coming for Spain. They lead by 2 goals to 1. With 3.5 minutes left of the 5 added on. Just to confirm, Lamine Yamal, the second Spaniard to receive a yellow card this evening. Not looking good for France at this stage. It's looking superb for them after 11 minutes with Colin Mawani's header. Mbappé still out there. Can they find an equaliser? Spain might get the third instead. Williams, left wing, up against Koundé. Standing start, easy ball. Cucurella working that space. No tilt. Players spread across. Rodri. Look for Fabian Ruiz, who's run his socks off this evening. Now jogs back into place. His fitness levels are immense. So Saliba draws in. Is that Yamal out there at right wing? It is. Then Rodri. Yamal will pick up on a loose pass. Came away from Theo Hernandez. Spain have a throw on the halfway line, right side. 2.5 minutes until they're in the final. Will there be 2 more changes for De La Fuente? I think there will be. Yamal's one of them. So the player to get the ball into the top left corner in the first half, 21st minute, equaliser from Lamine Yamal. He will come off for Ferran Torres, his club teammate from Barcelona. The 2 wingers are coming off, in fact. Nico Williams, the other one. So they will reinforce midfield with Zubimendi. Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad, cap number 9 for the 25-year-old. For the 16-year-old, though, they'll be talking about his goal for generations to come. Working past the Spanish contingency here, playing the drums. They've got the instruments here. It is festival for Spain as Cucurella finally sends the ball forward into the channel on the left wing. Oyarzabal and Fabian Ruiz. What a back heel that is for Rodri. I have to say, just on point. If this was a boxing match, Spain may deserve this. And it doesn't really matter because they have the lead with 55 seconds. It's with Unai Simon. He's going to chip it out towards Cucurella. Going to run rings around France, but Koundé wins it. Good high challenge. Mbappé was waiting. Intended for him. France will have a throw, 40 seconds. Will there be time added on to the time added on? You know what I mean? Ferran Torres, he came on for Yamal. 46th international cap, 20 goals he's got. France coming, it's a looping header. And Griezmann wants a corner. So does Deschamps. Seconds are ticking away now. So are France's hopes. A lot of worried looks in the faces of the bench, the dugout, and the fans. To see a blue behind that goal, and they would love an equaliser here. They were adamant that they had a corner kick, and now the tears are starting to flow. You can see we are into the 96th minute. France are moments away from exiting this tournament. Only scored 1 goal in general play, so you can't complain too much. Free kick to Spain out on the left